Hello, Internet. You're listening to the In Your House comedy podcast with the Babyface and his fellow funny friend. Now hold on to your butts. Keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times. Prepare to have an autographical orgasm in 3, 2, 1.
I developed like a new.
I've just started recording because we're having good conversation, so I'm just going to let it go. I don't care about the intro.
Conversation. Jesus Christ.
After lockdown, yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So, I've started kind of working on a new set, which is me being the quiz host, basically.
Oh, you did mention it. I like that concept in general.
Yeah, and so I did Leanne's night, and it seemed to go quite well. Because they were not a responsive audience, but I got responses from, so that's good.
That says a lot, to be fair, though. Yeah, when you can win an audience like that over.
Yeah, but so the idea is that whoever wins, I have to give them something, and I don't really have a lot of things.
What are you going to give them, Callum?
I don't really have a lot of things that I want to give away. So I decided to start doing. If you do hear anything, this is just a fly buzzing around because I stink. So
we all think at the moment.
Yeah. Now I'm not a very good artist. However, as you've seen, I'm not good at drawing.
Nothing you said so far has surprised me. So
yeah, when you've seen my drawings before, they're not good, but they're weird. So what I've been doing, here's one that I'm giving away. It's an accurate representation of my hand, but with one very long finger. So that'll be one. Here is another.
They're like ET when he gets the old age or something. Is that what happens?
Yeah, maybe. Here is another accurate representation of my hand, but cut off. But this one has got a secret option where you can go, "Oh, your death will go unmourned." There you go.
That is so not what I was expecting to be under that flap.
And this one that I did yesterday. No.
Gotta say you drew better
yesterday.
than I remembered as well, to be honest with you.
With those, I cheated because I physically drew around my hand. And then I could just be like, yes, that's where the knuckles are. But this one, I am very proud of because I've drawn this. I've not traced around anything. I literally had my iPad to the left and I drew this. Look at it. That is Homer. Yeah. Homer when he melts. I think that's for someone who did not do well at art in school at all. I think that's all right. Is that?
That is actually just good. Yeah, I could tell straight away it was Homer.
I'd be happy getting that if I were like, do you know what? I've taken part in a stupid fucking quiz. I'm quite happy getting this as a prize. So they'll be going with me to Sheffield on the 2nd of August.
The prizes. Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense. I'm not going to lie, I was slightly phasing out at the beginning because I was thinking about where my drink was. I'm with you now.
So
I'm with you.
Whoever wins will get a picture that is also signed by me, so it's bound to increase in value because I'm going places. Prison probably, but
I say we'll go in places.
I fly. It's fine. It's fine. Fuck off, fly.
So I haven't done. I'm just gonna Callum Jarvis-Jones on the In Your House comedy podcast, just so they know your name in case they don't. Although they're probably a lot more likely to know your name than mine. But what gigs do you have coming up soon, Callum?
I have precisely.
I didn't mention. I was about to
say finger.
I meant to mention to you, write down any dates or anything you had, or the wider details. I completely forgot. But are you going to be one of the few that actually knows the details, even just for one off heart?
Yes. So I am at the Callum Comedy Club in Sheffield on the 2nd of August. Oh. So if anybody was watching this, number one, what the fuck's wrong with you? Jesus. Have you not got anything better to do? And number two, if you want to win an amazing drawing of a hand, another hand, or melty face Homer Simpson, you better fucking come along and take part in my quiz, aren't you? Because I only picked 2 people to do it. So you've got a 50% chance if you're one of those people.
Is there a qualification? Is there anything you look for in particular that maybe a crowd, the ones to get picked, someone who wants to get picked can do to help them along? Is there a Price is Right type situation here?
Oh, maybe. Now you've just given me an idea.
I don't really know how they picked in prices, right? It just seemed like everyone just had to pretend like they were on crack for a second. Well, not on crack, actually.
Yeah.
And a lot of cocaine, probably better. A lot of cocaine. Go crazy.
Maybe both. Crack cocaine. The best of both worlds.
See who could have the most energy while throwing up endlessly on the floor.
I like to imagine sometimes that crack cocaine is where you put them both in a pipe and you put it in your nose and in your mouth at the same time and just go and see what goes where, you know.
I think,
who knows?
I think the actual difference is crack when you... No, because cocaine smoke is something different is when you smoke it, isn't it? Because that's why it's crack cocaine.
Yeah. I think they're like mixed together. Crack is its own thing, and that's more crystally, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, of the two of us, who's the drugs expert here? It ain't me. It ain't me, kids.
I don't know if I'd quite say expert, more guinea pig, but I'm not going to disagree with you.
Weird. Normally, you get paid for being the guinea pig. You don't pay them. So,
For all the best times, you have to pay them for being the guinea pig.
Yeah. Other than I was meant to be going to an open mic in Manchester this Thursday, just gone. However, thanks to coming in contact with somebody who did test positive for the Rona.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I mean, there was nothing pinged, so technically I didn't have to. But for the good of the nation, I stayed at home during the hottest fucking week. So, needless to say, if anybody looks at the website that I work for, everything I put up last week was done in my pants and only my pants because, God, nah. Nah.
The majority of the writing I do, I'm not wearing clothes. It's the best way to write, best way to do any kind of work.
Oh, no. Oh, I feel dirty reading anything that you've sent me now.
I would do. And anything I've recorded and edited. And most of it, to be honest, most of my work.
Oh, no. That's everything I have known that I've been involved with you has been tainted by your Johnson.
It was already tainted anyway. It's just tainted for another reason now.
That's what the song Tainted Love was about. It's all about everything that you touch with your widget.
So, where was that one you said? That was Sheffield, you said, your next one.
Yeah, that's in Sheffield. So that's on the 2nd of August. I believe, if Mr. Greg Phillips remembers, which, I mean, is an amateur comedy booker, so probably not. I think I'm meant to be doing his gig in Clown in Chesterfield in September. I won't hold my breath on that. But otherwise, yeah, I need to get out there and find some stuff right now. The fact that my first gig back after lockdown was in Kidderminster says a lot, really.
That was the one where you got done at? Well, not say got done at, but where, while you had to end of South Isolating.
Yeah.
Oh, wounda.
So, yeah, wow. over 7 hours worth cumulative travel to do 10 minutes, which did go very well, to get £8.50, which I immediately handed over for petrol money.
But still, $8.50 that you would have been more out of pocket though. It's always nice when you get a little bit of extra random money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did not expect to get $8.50 from that audience. Like when I saw someone, I think someone put like a 20 in, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, when I was there, we all got like a 10 each, and I worked it out. That means a few people were there. Like, we were receptive in that, but I didn't expect any of that. And it was like 100 between. It worked out something like 90 or £100 between the 3 or 4 tables. Random people.
Yeah, I don't know if the MC took anything, but yeah, so much that be £8.50. I mean, it's like 60 quid basically that they'd given over for an audience of not many. I imagine probably less than you had, and a small child that I was really like, because there was a lot of bad language and just I would like mail up and
Was
my
it the caravan
comedians.
park you did ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah, there was a small show there when we got there apparently, but they left by the time most of us.
All
gone.
right. Oh no, this kid stuck around, and obviously
someone did say something to the parent, and the parent was like, "Don't worry, they've heard a lot worse." I'm like, I'm sure they've heard a lot worse, but this is a lot more thought about as well. We put a lot of thought into how terrible we are.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of like paedophile stuff, and it's because obviously male open mic comedians.
Yeah,
there's going to be pedo gags.
You go for the jokes that are like tough.
No Madeline McCann jokes. I was quite surprised at. That was quite novel. Don't think I've been at a gig where there's not been a Madeline McCann joke.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, a Madeline McCann joke is just essentially a version of a pedo joke.
Yeah, so more often than not.
It's just a subgenre.
Yeah, it does involve a very similar structure.
They work though. All those subjects, that are a bit taboo, they're just the fun ones to joke along to. We all know this. Everyone agrees. Fun. That's why they laugh. They can bitch and moan if they want to, and they want to say they're angry. They're not angry. Everyone likes it.
Yeah, they love it. They love it. They do. They fucking love it. But I just wanted to. I wanted to try and totally avoid any COVID referencey stuff because I just thought, there's going to be loads of people doing that. I really want to try and do something different, and because maybe I kind of want to try and separate myself out and be like, I remember that guy. He was the one who didn't just do dick jokes for 10 minutes. He did them for 5, and there was a stupid quiz with it.
Doing something different, I think, especially at our levels right now, where we're trying more than anything. Like we know we're going to be grinding. We know we can write stuff. It's more about getting noticed at the moment. I think like those little bits are like the perfect way to do that. Like something different, Yeah.
So I
can't think of ever seeing anyone do that. Like essentially turn into like a quiz master during a set.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to lap up like some dirty great kitten, and the audience is my milk. And I'm very tired. I won't be on form for the metaphors and stuff today. I don't mix well with heat. I don't sleep well in heat. I'm so very tired.
See, today though, I've found it's not as warm today, but at the same time, I wasn't as warm all day. But right now, I'm really warm because I thought I'd be nice. I'll close the windows and stuff, and trying to be polite because I know I make a lot of noise at some points normally on a podcast. And now I'm just fucking warm. I'm really fucking warm.
Yeah.
I got a hoodie on. I don't even know why.
Yeah, you're a moron. I don't know why you got a long sleeve top on.
I haven't got them. They're rolled up.
All right. Even so, I mean, it's still
everything in.
It's still like it's got. I'm sure it'll have a lovely fleece lining. So
no, this is cheap as fuck. Don't worry about that. It's very thin.
Primarily special. There we go. Yeah. What about what about you? I know that you've done a few gigs now, haven't you? You did the Kingsford and the Bush Fest and the Holly Bush.
That's the same thing.
I know, but didn't you do just a gig at the Holly Bush?
Yeah, I've done a few at the Holly Bush and Bush Fest. I've done a couple now. I think my next actual gig is in Ipswich, so it's me going to be doing a long travel. I think it's going to take me like 4 or 5 hours to get there on a coach.
Fucking hell! Oh,
and I've got to leave from Birmingham at like 7 a.m. So that means I'm leaving like to get down to there at like 6:30, 6 probably just to be safe. Yeah. And then I've got a hotel. Cheap ass hotel, not too far away, and then I'll get up next morning. It's going to be fun, to be honest, but it's going to be a ball ache too.
I mean, that is something that like I've wanted to do more of, which is one of the reasons I said to the stupidly far away Kidderminster gig. But it's just like
it's kind of shit you're going to have to do, isn't it? Like the more and more gigs you get, so it's like I might as well start doing it now. Like random travels and all that. You don't drive either, do you?
I do drive, but my car is very shit, and it would not make it very far. But I mean, I do want to travel, but I don't want to travel on my own at the minute. I feel like I need a safety net of someone I know, so that I know I can travel back and be like, well, that was shit, wasn't it? Or just someone, just to have that comedy bitching session with or whatever. Because that makes everything better. If you've had a bad gig or a good gig, you're like, that went really well, didn't it? Yeah, that was really good. Or that went really shit. Here are all the reasons why this audience that person who went on before me, absolutely terrible.
You do. You break it down so much, don't you, in those conversations as well?
Yeah, exactly. And that was one thing that I did like about going down and back up to Kidderminster with the two other comedians that I went with.
Yeah,
it's just having that comedy banter again.
Yeah.
It was nice.
It's especially nice as well if you already know the people. It's nice sometimes if you don't know the people and you get to know them during that big journey when you're together. But at the same time, there's no guarantee you'll like them. And then you're stuck in a car with people you don't like. Yeah. And I'm not good with that. I find it hard to keep my mouth quiet about stuff.
Oh, dear.
I really find it hard.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, you do strike me as one of those people who some people really like. Like you are Marmite, I can imagine.
I'm totally Marmite. That's 100% true. Slightly out of date Marmite.
Yeah.
A lot more people lean to the other side, but some people like the chunky variant, so it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, Kd, lovely and tangy. I'd love to smear him on toast. Most people, don't you put him near my mouth. No. Disgusting boy.
That's literally a conversation I've overheard about myself in the past, so yeah. Yeah, but Glass Eye Comedy, and that's the next one in that's the next actual gig. But I've got this Tuesday actually, because it's recording Saturday now. This will be out Monday, is the idea, because I'm not going to edit it. So if we say anything bad, well, I'm going to edit it. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to add graphics on. But
yeah,
if we need to cut anything out, we'll write it down while we're doing it. And if we
when you pop a hard RN word, then
that's obviously going to come at some point.
Oh yeah,
it wouldn't be a podcast, right?
Yeah, when you start breaking into your NWA lyrics, that's when
you are a bit of a nipple, to be fair. Well, we're on about a different N word.
I love that you think there's an R in nipple.
When did we talk about an R? What?
I said when you pop a hard RN word. We'll move on. That's just gone zooming over that snapback, is that? Oh, dear.
I've never heard someone describe a word by talking about the last letter at the end of it, or I've even missed it even more.
Yeah.
Which is probably that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Anyway.
You're more NWO than NWA, anyway.
Very true.
Yeah.
I am an old man. Now, I've also got this Tuesday coming. I'm in the quarterfinals of the Extreme Improv Extreme World Championship.
Okay, so did you have to win a previous round for this?
No, I'm not going to win. No, you're not. No, I didn't have to win anything to get to this.
No, you just chucked in the deep end for somebody who's never done improv other than what we've done.
But I've looked at it, and that apparently is what improv is. They're literally the same thing.
So,
stupid
is
things
this
going into like full? Like I know there's one about what was it? There was one game where it's like somebody says you get like 30 seconds to talk about something, and then rather than everyone having to do the same after, everyone then has to remember the thing he said and then do the same thing, and then on and on. I think I wasn't completely listening, to be honest. I think.
Oh dear. So has there been
8 p.m. on Tuesday?
Has there been other like rounds of
this? Number 6 is on right. There hasn't been other rounds before the quarterfinals, but I guess there's 8 quarterfinals. I think I'm in the 8th one because number 6 is on right now. And I think there's one on Monday. Yeah, that would make sense. There's one on Monday, and there's one on Tuesday. Number 8, that's the one I'm in. Last one.
Interesting.
I have no idea what it entails other than that one game that I saw, but it looks like it's going to be fun.
May I advise homework? It's not like you don't do anything all day, so.
Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about and doing anything all day? I've been writing a script all day for one today.
What do you do? That's not a thing, though, is it? That's that's just you sitting about in your pants.
Okay, I'm going to tell the creator of Community. I'm going to tell the creator of The Office. I'm going to tell the creator of Parks and Recreation. Is that too? There's nothing. None of that. No?
Unless it's in a Starbucks on an Apple Mac, that's not a proper job. That's the rule.
Well, actually, if technically, over the last, I say technically it is. I've been working on that KD Creative Media thing, and I've been doing this stuff with something called the NEA, the New Enterprise Allowance, and I've now had a business plan approved, which is strange because when I was doing it, they were saying, okay, so it's most likely, it's going to take a couple of tries. I get it in because I ain't got a clue what the fuck I was doing. But apparently, I have a good business mind because first time, perfect.
Do not
apparently.
let them hear that. Do not let them hear that.
Know.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Cheers, guys.
I don't know. When it comes to business, I don't know what I'm doing. Business just seems logical. I just know how to make things. That's it.
Oh dear.
So I'm now officially self-employed, and I've got this NEA backing thing. It's cool.
Oh dear.
Fuck you.
I'm intrigued and also worried. Like
the support for people like me out there to create a business. I don't blame you. You should be worried about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was very easy.
Oh dear. Oh, this could go one of two ways.
I didn't even check what kind of bombs I was making as well. I mean, yeah, graphics.
Yeah.
No, I thought it's really good, to be fair, because it's not something I knew about. And for anyone that's actually like got a little self-employed business they're trying to build up, it's actually really good. New enterprise allowance. It's you can do it even if you're not on universal credit. It's for anyone.
Oh.
But there's certain like qualifiers and things that do work and don't work, and you might get like slightly less money. Yeah. Each time, because they give you money as well to help with things. And for someone like me, like my business doesn't need like a premise either, like a shop, no kind of thing. There's just a lot less overhead, so more chance. It's good. It's good. But so no, I don't do the generic 9 to 5. And if you don't do the generic 9 to 5 kind of job in today's civilization, you don't work. Sorry, people.
You do.
Doesn't matter what else you do.
Fucking scum. I mean,
scum of the world.
I do 8 till 4, so I'm also scum.
You're slightly earlier scum, though.
Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong. People that do 9 to 5 are scum too, but at least you're a civilized scum.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one who gets to finish early. I get to go shopping an hour before everybody else. That's the kind of scum I am.
So I don't want to say too much about this because I don't like talking about projects that I'm doing until they're at a point where I can really show people stuff. But obviously it's at the point now where a few more people are aware of it in that, because I haven't even talked to you. So we've got a little scripted project that I've been working on for the last few months, and now yourselves agreed to be involved in it. And we've got since the last time I spoke to you, I've actually got the full cast now. Every single person that I need is casted. All comedians as well that want to act.
That's interesting. How many people is that?
So that would be hold on, I've got my thing here to break down. It lists them all. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wonderful.
8.
8. Wow.
8 characters for the main cast. Well, I say the main cast, 2 of them are kind of secondary characters, one more so than the other, but recurring cast anyway.
Yeah. Are we being paid scale, or how does it work? Do I have to be in the union?
You don't have to be, but you get paid in hand jobs.
Oh, where? From you? Or?
Well, no, it's excuse the pun. It's a community-based thing. So we all just sat in a circle. So it's like an I Am Legend circle jerk. It's all about a community. It's all about building it up together. It's collaboration.
We are
even
all
the payment.
The zombie vampires tossing into one communal bucket. Oh dear. Oh, very dear.
I was going to make a joke about one of the people on it then, but I probably shouldn't because I'd have to mention who it is. I was going to mention that person will happily take a couple of the hand jobs for us, I think, though, for anyone that doesn't want to perform.
Yeah, I can imagine. They might be the bucket.
There's only one girl in the cast, to be fair. And I thought about this. I'm like, oh, is someone going to complain to me at some point? Someone might complain about that.
Maybe.
That's only if it gets to the point where people watch it. If it gets,
I was going to say it needs to be viewed for that to happen, and
Well, I'm not. This isn't going to be made to go on YouTube or anything. I actually want to present this and pitch it to an actual few things. Because let's be fair, some of the stuff that's on Netflix and Amazon is fucking shit. It's terrible.
Amazon especially is
Amazon especially
riddled with trash. I'm glad I don't use that anymore. That is, I feel like, so Disney Plus is now like the market leader in like quality streaming stuff because it's just knocking it out of the fucking park for the most part.
Really? In what, like, other than Marvel, what are we talking about?
I'll be honest, I'm mainly talking about the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff. Like, that's all I care about.
Oh, I forgot about Star Wars. Yeah, I forgot.
But that's Disney. They don't really do.
So the two main things that aren't even their creations anyway. But
yeah, but they don't like do the sort of independent shit, as it were. Like, I've seen there's some, like I say, absolute trash on Amazon, and it's like, it is trash that I have watched. It's absolute shite horror movies, but at the same time, you're like, how is this
and the originals, especially though, like the ones where they've given the people the money to do it, and some of them are fucking great, you know. Some of them, a lot of them are horrendous, just not very good, just not good at all. And it shows, like, you know, because there's only one season. Sometimes there's only half a season, and it's just not very good, and they're like tucked away down at the bottom. I definitely reckon between this group that we've put together, that and just I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm good at writing scripts. I know I am, so I think it'll work very well.
Oh, praise from Caesar for himself. Oh, yeah, nothing. Don't break your hand patting yourself on the back there.
There's nothing wrong with complimenting yourself when it's true. There's nothing wrong with doing it when it's a lie, but as long as you know it's a lie and it's not honest.
If you're not going to big yourself up, no other fucker is. So
it's actually joking now, but it's actually true. Like, talking about like your stuff as well, like advertising yourself, you've got to like do all that shit.
That's it. Like, you do have, and nobody pays fucking attention to my shit. I'm literally, nobody looks at it. And I'm just so fine with that. Just
no one pays attention to anyone's stuff, man, really.
Yeah, everybody's sort of out for themselves in this world, apart from the little cabals of people who are incestuously gobbling things up. Sorry, I'm saying big words here to try and confuse you so you don't accidentally say something.
The shocking part was, this might surprise you, I understood the words, didn't understand the context, though. Not at all.
Fine. Whatever way it confuses you is absolutely fine.
I'm just trying to figure out what group of people, comedians, are incestuously fucking. That's all I got from that. So there's a family of comedians out there fucking each other.
Yeah,
for entertainment as well, apparently.
It's the Crankies, everyone. It's the Crankies. It's them that's doing it.
Don't know who they are.
No, fuck me. Brandy.
Christmas with the Cranks? No, it's Cranks. Christmas with the Cranks, not Crankies.
Oh, but that'll
you got it wrong, Callum.
It would be a better film if it was Christmas with the Crankies. And anyone who knows who the Crankies are, that's not fucking wrong. You love it, wouldn't you? You fucking love it.
I do recognise the name, to be fair, but I have no idea what it is.
I think if you saw them, you'd be like, "Oh, I remember them." So, how many episodes would you intend for this to be? Because obviously, the going sort of rate for a British series is normally about 6 to 8 episodes. So, how many of you don't know? How many do you envision doing?
Well, I've got 2 broken down, the first 2, because I was thinking, depending on how, I'm going to have 2 episodes ready to go for when we, for the shooting schedule idea for the middle of September. Mm-hmm. But because obviously I don't know how long we're getting everything together in the logistics, how long it's actually going to take to record each one. But 10 anyway, the actual first season, and then more after if it gets picked up and it goes further, But I think that's a good realistic idea, and going by the amount of ideas I've got as well already noted down for future episodes. Like, there'll be an episode that will be featured mainly in a pub, but obviously in the pub smoking area. There's a lot of random. I've got a few things like that, but I've got 2 episodes broken down already. One fully broken down with the script part of the way through. I thought about this too much, to be honest with you, dude. Way too much.
So are you envisioning like a full? Well, I guess it depends how you do it, really, because obviously it used to be the standard that sort of for a sitcom on an advertised channel like Channel 4 or an ITV, you'd be looking about 22 to 25 minutes, give or take.
Yeah,
Whereas
22.
you get like the BBC standard, and I imagine similarly like the Netflix, this kind of streaming standard is more towards sort of 28-ish minutes.
No, generally,
break.
Yeah, it's 21 generally, even when it's on Netflix and that. I think the only reason it is for BBC is because what you said, the advert break, you don't have that, so you have the extra bit. Even though now they seem to have suddenly gone against that, like EastEnders is always like 25 minutes, and it just annoys you because you're waiting around for 5 minutes after Emmerdale, waiting for Corrie to come back on or something. Yeah, I'll watch the soaps, remember. We've been over this.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm any less disappointed in you.
I didn't say they're good. I watch a lot of things.
And like that, we can talk about wrestling. Weird, isn't it? It's like about things that go on every week that aren't particularly good, but you watch them anyway. Yeah.
But I'll just with that other thing though, I'll show you like some of the breakdowns and the other ideas I've got for future things. Though I don't want to talk about it too much on here and make a point of it because it's gonna be fucking good, to be honest with you.
It's gonna be good, kids. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be
my penis.
Yeah, you're going to do real well in those improvs, aren't you?
Oh, I know. It's great, isn't it?
Quick, think of a location. My penis. Think of an object. My penis.
So we go on to wrestling, actually. What does that mean to you? Like, because I think you've got a bit more experience with improv. What does that mean? Because obviously this is still like an online-based improv. So in normal improv, what does that normally entail?
I mean, I've only done like improv games where what we did, the one that I remember, was so there's like a group of 4 of you, and 2 of you begin the scene, and you'll be like given the scene. So it'll be like,
what do you mean?
So you like whoever's sort of in charge or whatever will be like, you are 2 Welsh miners down a coal pit, go. And then you'll do a little bit and you try and be funny. And then they're like, right, freeze. And you freeze in position. Someone subs out, someone subs in. And then and now your doctor's operating on somebody. So you'll begin, so you pretend you've got a shovel in somebody.
I don't know. What kind of mine shaft has got the sanitary conditions to do surgery on someone? This is already falling apart, Callum.
You are going to die in these improv games. But obviously then it'd be like, okay, now your doctor's operating on people. The next person, like say the person who subbed out was holding a shovel. They're coming in the exact same position. And then, so they'd be like, oh shit, no, that was wrong, wasn't it? Oh dear. Oh, well, they're dead. And you just kind of, that was the kind of improv games that we played. There was another thing. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was maybe like making a story, almost like a drinking game in a way, where you just have to continue a story, but I can't fully remember it. But sort of each doing a sentence. To form a coherent thing. But
see, all that just sounds like really fun, though, to be fair. Like that kind of improv. I'd love to try that properly on stage as well in front of people.
Yeah, I would too. And just watch Whose Line Is It Anyway? That's what you do, David. That's improv. All those, everyone on
panel
there
shows.
Is improv.
Yeah.
What?
You're on about panel shows, weren't you then?
Have you ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's not really a panel show.
Yeah, it is.
No,
Whose Line Is It Anyway? What's the premise in that again?
So Whose Line Is It Anyway? The one that's was hosted by Clive Anderson over here. The American one. It's got Drew Carey or what's her name? She's a voice in Archer, and she was in Friends.
Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow.
No. She was Aisha Tyler. No,
not a clue who that is.
Do you know who Ryan Stiles is, or Colin Mockery? You have not seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? I'm telling you this now. You're pretending. I think you're thinking of Mock the Week.
No, you know what I think I'm thinking of? I might be thinking of Have I
Got News For You?
No, the one where you lie.
Would I Lie to You?
Funny enough, yeah. That.
Yeah. I mean, that's, in a way, when they get given the lie, they have to improvise. So it sort of is. It's semi-improvisational. And it's not really Is it a panel show? Yeah, I guess it will be a panel show. There's two teams. Yeah. But yeah, whose line is it anyway? Just that doesn't work like that. There's just 4, generally speaking, improv comedians, and they get given things to do, and it's just very similar to that. So if you find whose line is it anyway, that'll give you some idea of what you might be in for.
It just sounds like exactly what I thought, to be honest. You just got to come up with some random bullshit to whatever you're given. I like doing that.
Yeah, improv is basically just think on your feet. There's no net. You've got nothing pre-prepared. Go be funny. And that's why some people can't do it. Some people can't work like that.
See, I think I prefer that because it means I don't have to learn anything. I don't have to think about it until I get there. That's cool.
That's it.
I like that.
I'm pretty shit with remembering things, remembering sets. So
not as easy as people think to remember. Like even 10 minutes of material. It's not that easy.
Oh my god. Yeah. No. Which is why I'm doing the quiz thing, because I can cheat. I'd be like, I've got the questions right here, and then everything else would just be riffing with what the contestants, inverted quotes, do or say. So
I've got a little cheat as well. That I debuted at the Bush, because I changed my setup, because originally I was doing a lot of Corona stuff at the beginning, and I noticed exactly what you noticed, that everyone was kind of just doing Corona stuff. It's like, hey, this is another Trump, so I'm just going to get away from this.
Yeah.
So I had like new stuff in that, but then I also had a rhyming kind of adult story, I guess, that I read out about what aliens would think if they actually, all these videos and that, if they came down and actually looked at the shit that we do as a civilization, as a species, what would they actually think about it?
Okay.
Naturally talking about circumcision, furries, that kind of shit.
Circumcised furries. Interesting concept.
Yeah, you think they could at least say shave? No, you're gonna cut that off, and you can shave. It's cool.
I need a fucking shave, man, and not on my face.
Not on your head either.
I mean, I want to do that as well, because literally all this week I was thinking, I'll just shave my head again. But with my manky finger, it's just really been awkward to hold things.
I meant to ask you, what did you do to your finger?
So I pulled, I think some people call it the wick. So basically, at the side of your nail, you might get a little bit that kind of sticks out.
Yeah.
So I pulled one of them out, and obviously just got some dirt or something in it, and it got infected. And now I'm having a pretty shit time of it. So,
with that little yellow bit in the side and that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So
I mean, let's be honest, that's not that bad, Callum. Not that bad.
In the grand scheme, no. I also the infection has definitely spread to my arm. I can see that. You probably can't see this on camera, but there's like a pink. It's spread further up from my finger. You can see a bit of a line.
It's definitely that. It definitely couldn't be the sun.
And I've not been out in the fucking sun. I've been inside for a week. So
I can see in the back there, you definitely don't have windows in your house either. So it's definitely the infection.
It really is. I will have to get more antibiotics, because these antibiotics run out in a couple of days, and this is not healed. It's just, if anything, it's got worse, because there's now an open wound, which
to be fair, it doesn't look very good, actually.
Yeah.
I'm taking the piss, but that looks...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's,
Okay, that looks worse than I was thinking, okay.
Yeah, I may have opened that wound a little bit. Some skin may have cracked off, and I was like, well, if I just peel the rest of it off, it's not doing any harm. But a little bit of pus came out, so that means it's healing. That's good. Right?
Wait.
Right, everybody, please.
Sure?
I need this.
Maybe.
Oh god. Oh man, I'll be so pissed off if I had to cancel a gig. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Cancel a gig for a hurty finger.
I do if it keeps spreading up my fucking arm.
If you end up and you wake up one morning and your whole hand looks like that, then yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough then.
Oh shit, that reminds me. I still need to send a picture and a little blurb about myself to Ollie, who's doing the night. So I need to make something up, because nobody has ever said anything about me. So I'll just say, Callum is a dickhead. There you go. Put that out.
Big yourself up. You could like super big yourself up and then just at the end say something like, and it's definitely not me writing this for myself.
Yeah.
Something.
This is definitely not all a lie.
Well, if you mean, you
I do that at some point.
Just openly admit it. It's even better.
Yeah.
Oh, something else though. I mean, you're like, how old are you now? Like 33, then you said, and you're on about your finger. I just watched a trailer for the new Jackass film.
Oh, yeah.
Then people are like 50, and they are going fucking crazy. It looks just as mental.
It does. I'm not gonna lie. I will watch that. Of course, I will.
Yeah.
Like when you if you watch Jackass back, which I have at points, and you're like, oh man, Jesus. Like now, you're just like, oh fuck, oh no. You can understand why your parents are like, what are they doing that for? Whereas you were like, yeah, kill yourself. Whereas now you are just like, now you're like, oh fuck, oh my god.
I'm a dad as well, so I completely understand it now, 100%. I do not. I will not let my children watch it.
But then just seeing that again, there's a little bit here. There's a little bit here that is like, that's right, fucking kill yourself, do it. But then obviously it's not gonna have Bam Margera in it, so that's contentious.
He was always one of my least favorites anyway.
Oh, really?
Never liked him.
That's interesting.
Even at a young age, I think I disliked him for the way he always ran in and just attacked his parents. Even at a young age watching it, I was like, you're just a dick.
Yeah, I didn't like that. The way that he just started beating the shit out of Phil, I was like, you just don't seem like a good person. Like, nobody else was doing that. Bam did genuinely seem like he is the dickhead friend. That you're like, well, we're sort of stuck with him. He's here.
Well, that's what they thought. And then the director got a restraining order.
And now they have got rid of him. Like, yes.
Have you heard all the story behind what that was and that then?
Yeah. And then I saw his video denying all the charges of being an addict where he was drunk and high.
Oh, yeah. Because wasn't it that they wanted him to basically, get clean or their level of clean? I bet even their level of clean isn't completely clean, just clean of whatever high thing he's on and come down to the level of normal people. Get alcohol, get some marijuana, I'm sure there's probably higher levels than that they were willing to let him go to, but he was
to be fair, Steve-O is 100% clean. He's fucking vegan as well now. He's just gone. He's but of course he will still do absolutely ridiculous things. Now he'll just do them sober and regret them far more.
I don't know. In the trailer, he was the one person that I looked at and I thought him and Johnny Knoxville look like they're having so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Well,
Johnny
I do get
Knoxville is so grey now. So grey.
Yeah. But no, it seems like a lot of the film he's not actually got grey hair, which was confusing me when I was seeing clips.
To be fair, I think he has said he's been dyeing it since he was about 25. So it's always been a lie.
I saw the one bit at the end and I was like, there's got to be the little clip that the trailer that I watched ended on. Where it's like the one guy, Dave England or something, covered in honey and with salmon on him and let a bear in. But no, that can't be. There's got to be something else to that.
Yeah, it was Aaron McGeehee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was when I saw that. I was like, "Oh, are they going full bore? Are they actually trying to die this time? We're gonna make this a fucking snuff film. Kill Aaron."
I thought it was very smart how they brought in some they brought in. It seems like a new generation of younger people that just watched it, but also there's some celebrities in there that are fully going for it. Like Eric Andre was in there.
Yeah.
Did you notice who else has been in? Who else was there that also did something overly dangerous for a celebrity as well when they were in WWE? He was one of the guys getting slapped in the pool scene in the trailer. He got slapped with the big hand. It was Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
I like Machine Gun Kelly.
If you can call him a celebrity, then that's fine.
He's the only person I know that has ever beaten Eminem in a rap battle, like a little rap diss thing, where they both of them brought the songs out. So many people say Eminem won. No, I don't agree. Fucking Machine Gun Kelly's song was so good. I still listen to it now, regularly. Eminem's was a pile of shit. I love Eminem, but
Yeah, I don't think I've really listened to Eminem with any real fervor since. What was
Eminem Show?
the one after that where he just kind of really full bore sold out and was basically just doing novelty rap?
Could have been Encore before he had his big break.
Yeah, I think it was Encore where
And there was a lot of like classic ones on there too.
It was basically one with like Just Lose It on and Ass Like That, I think that was Encore. I can't remember.
I know what you're on about because honestly, I loved all his albums, and I think I'm missing an album. Hold on, Eminem, Ass Like That. What else? What album was that from? The way you shake it, I can't believe it. I ain't never seen an ass like that. The way you move it, it makes my pee go. Ba-doing, doing, doing. You mean the guy is like a belly dancer. She's shaking that ass too. Then on the dance, I think someone's at the door, but the topic come answer. Police saying freeze. Ba-doing, doing, doing. I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah, Christ, we are white. Good Lord.
Encore. It was Encore.
Told you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not really. I think when his last one that had it was like, what was it, like the back end of a jet fighter or something on it as a picture.
No, that's an old one. Kamikaze you're on about.
Yeah. I think that was the last one I heard anything from, and I didn't really.
The last one I quite liked, but I think there might have been another one since the Marshall Mathers LP2. I really liked that one, but there was Relapse and Rehab. I think Relapse was one I liked, the first one he came out, and then Rehab I didn't like. Right. There's one on 3 a.m. where he's talking about 3 a.m. in the morning, woke up and bodies laying all over the floor. And I don't remember how they got there, but I guess I must have killed them. Ah! And he talks about drinking the bathwater. That's a great song, to be honest. I love that song so much. It's one of the few Eminem songs I've actually got a drum cover somewhere on Facebook for. I love that song.
Wow.
Very good.
I might have to see if any of his newer stuff piques my interest with a YouTube dive, because I feel like Eminem songs are often improved by the videos. I think he's always been very good at his videos. Yeah,
the Slim Shady stuff definitely.
Yeah, like what was it? What was the one that had the one that had Dre in? That's probably half the album. What was
you're on about, by any chance, you're on about Without Me?
No, not Without Me. The one from the Slim Shady LP.
From the new one?
No, his second album.
My Name Is?
No, before
Real
that.
Slim Shady?
No.
My Name Is was his first big hit.
Oh yeah, that was sorry. So it was My Name Is. It wasn't Real Slim Shady.
From the old stuff.
Yeah.
Could it have been a D12?
It was like him and Dre, and it was like a guy's conscience.
Forget about Dre. Oh, Guilty Conscience.
Guilty Conscience. There we go.
Conscience. That's a Dr. Dre song. That's why.
Is it? I thought.
Yeah, Eminem's featured in it, I think.
Oh, I always thought that was on the Slim Shady. I don't know why.
You might be right, actually. Forget About Dre is a
Dre
song. Yeah.
Nowadays, everyone want to talk like they got something to say.
Something to say. Nothing comes out when they move the lips to suppose gibberish. Forget about Dre. So what do you say to somebody you hate? Anyone trying to bring trouble your way? Oh, they on the WA. Somebody had been WA. One day I was walking by with Walkman on. I'm going to stop because I'll just keep it. I can't help it. I love Eminem.
One thing.
It's the only reason I write white boy raps on random shit sometimes.
Something I do really want to try, but I just don't think enough people will get it, is just halfway through a set, just go, shit! Forgot about Dre, and just see if anybody understood it. But I feel
you'd have to pick the audience. Yeah,
that's it. It'd be so fucking niche, but I really want to do it.
I mean, if you made a couple of random Eminem references right at the beginning, so Eminem's just in there a tiny bit, you know, not even like big references, but tiny little things.
You could even, I guess you could even actually, it might work for you in a way, because
you refer to yourself as the most entertaining white boy since Eminem.
Yeah, and they could be like, that's not to say that I don't like Eminem. Here's a few of my favorite songs of his, and you can name them, and then you can just halfway through just pop it.
But I suppose, yeah, if you
Shit.
left it a long time.
Yeah. Oh, you could even close the set on that. Just going, mine it. Shit. Forgot about Dre.
Yeah. There's definitely something to that, 100%.
There is. There's something there that I think could be really good, but I just.
There's a few different ways you could go, but that's the hard thing, isn't it, with comedy? Because you can think of a few different ways, but you don't really know. Like at the same time, would it be better to just mention it at the beginning and then just jump to it at the end, or would it be better to every now and then throw in like an Eminem song so they know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Whereas like, I don't know. I got wasted last night on those blue and yellow purple. Anything, you know.
Yeah.
And then just at the end, the one like all the other ones can be shit, and then just for that at the end, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something there. Just there's an idea. And like most of my ideas, it will come to nothing eventually. Like normally I find the idea that is the easiest to commit to. In this case, pretending to be a quiz host. That'll do. That is fucking piss easy. I don't have to be funny. They do. So
I don't know. I think you're just very good at the quiz host thing, which is why when the comedian quiz off comes back, I kind of want you to be the host again. I just think it works perfect. It works a lot better with you as a host, I think.
Oh, well, sir, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. It definitely does. Amazing. However, obviously, I appreciate the compliment greatly.
Yes. I can't take it because that'd be wrong of me to disagree to it and be big-headed. But at the same time, you're right. I'm great.
Are you drinking a Budweiser there?
I'm going to try to, but my hands are really weak and I'm not good at the twisty caps.
Oh, yeah. No, I can't.
So,
Look at him struggle. Oh, there we go. He's done it. For a moment, I thought it was a cider by Brothers because it looks an awful lot like the toffee apple cider, which is...
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, that is my favourite cider. Oh, my God. Oh, if I see that, if there's the opportunity to drink that, I am about...
I understand that. Oh. Have you tried the Palmer Violets one?
Yeah. It was okay. I don't think any of them are bad because there's that one. There's a rhubarb and custard.
That's very nice. Well. Yeah.
I think there's one other that I can't remember.
There's loads. There's a toffee apple one.
I feel like is that raspberry ripple or something?
It might be. There was some random new ones that's come out recently as well.
Is there?
Yeah, Mom mentioned them the other day, and I can't think of them now. I always like the idea of drinking beers and ciders and that. But I don't know about you, but as I've got older, I've noticed spirits and that I can drink them and I feel fine. Before I could mix every drink all night and it wouldn't make a damn difference. Now I do that. I cannot do that. I understand that logic now.
See, I used to be able to drink a decent amount of cider, but I find that because I started my drinking career, quotes, very wrong. Like I started when I was 17 and I started off drinking Guinness. So I started as an old man. And then from Guinness, I moved on to drinking bitter. And then from bitter, I drank the Fosters and the Budweisers, like the shit lager. And
after the bitter, you went to them.
Yeah. And then I went to cider. I was like, this is fruity and delicious. I love these. This is what I want from now on. And so I'm basically a cider drinker. But what I found about cider is it makes my mouth very tacky. And as I've gotten older, it takes less and less cider to give me that kind of feeling. But when I've drunk proper lager, I can drink a Tadcaster lager. It's very nice. It's a very popular beer around here. But I have found 3 lagers, I'm fucking done, man. It's something about lager. My mind is just like, you're drunk now. You're drunk now. Whereas, like you say, with spirits, I can drink with a mixer. I can't really drink straight spirits. It's not my thing. But a nice Kraken rum and lemonade or Kraken rum and ginger beer, I can drink those all night and I probably won't feel a fucking thing. But 3 lagers, I'll be like, I fucking love you. I love you.
I mean, isn't that better though? Don't you kind of want to get drunk as quick as you can for cheap as possible? I go to the pub to get drunk. If I'm going to the pub and I'm drinking because I want to get drunk. Really? Otherwise, why the fuck am I drinking? What's the point?
I used to have that mentality when I was young, like you.
Come on, fine.
The
No,
thing
I'm
is,
not young.
I don't like getting drunk. I like getting to the state that I guess most people call fresh, where you just
I've
like
never heard that.
no,
Never heard that
it's
phrase.
just that kind of just before kind of the tipping point. We're just like I'm feeling a little bit buzzed. I can kind of feel it, like I'm getting warm feelings in the back of my head, but I'm not gonna go up to my manager and call him a cunt. Like I'm just nice. I'm just
I
like
don't know.
little bit loose, a little bit louder than I was.
Tipsy.
Yeah, tipsy.
Yeah.
I hate being full blown drunk because the first thing that goes when I'm full blown drunk is my stomach, and it just cramps, and I hate it. And I very rarely am sick from drinking, but I just get the hurty stomach. I'm just like,
I
this
know
isn't fun.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean. I used to get it all the time, and it stopped when I stopped mixing my spirits with fizzy pop and just started having straight. And then just what I do is I have one little drink always with me, like, and as soon as I've had my shot, just a quick little chaser, kills the taste.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it is definitely the fizz that does it. But I don't like the spinny head either, where you lay down and you're like, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not. This isn't. I'm on a merry-go-round. Oh dear, I hate that feeling. Just hate it so much.
I think I've got very good now at like knowing I have like a routine when I come back, like, and I'm really drunk like that, where I know if like I just like kind of just stay up for like another 3 or 4 hours when I get back and let that kind of all those feelings go through and then go to sleep.
Yeah, that is basically what I had to do. It's like, well, I guess I'm awake forever now. Okay. I didn't want to be, but all right. And it used to be really exacerbated back when I worked at CEX between when was it? That was between 2012 and 2015. There used to be a place in Leeds called Carpe Diem, and every Wednesday between I want to say 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. they did pound a pint. So it was basically the CX drink was snakebite and black for £1. So you took a tenner with you, man, you fucking done. And it was an hour bus ride back to where I was living. The last bus was at 11, and I did everything in my power. Like I must piss as much as I can before I leave this place. And obviously, halfway on the bus, it was stop, bladder time. I'm like, oh God, no, I've got half an hour. This is the last bus. Oh God. And more often than not, because the bus, I lived at the top of the hill, and the bus would basically do a route where it would go sort of at the bottom of the hill, but then keep going past and then divert around and then come to the top of the hill. So from being at the bottom of the hill would take, depending on how many people were getting off or on at that time of night, 15 to 20 minutes to go from bottom of hill to top of hill. And I could probably, even when I was pissed, walk up that hill in 10. So more often than not, I would get off at the bottom, piss at the bottom of the hill, and then just walk up. I was just like, oh, that's so much better. And by the time I was at the top, I needed to piss again. So, and
it's kind of nice. I don't know about you, but I kind of enjoy any kind of unsober walk on my own. Like I like walking when I'm sober.
I've been very lucky that I've not really ever been like accosted by anybody. Although,
to be fair, you don't look like you've got any money, and no one's going to try to rape you.
I mean that was true. Even when I didn't look like this, I was like, oh, I'm actually maybe cut that word out. Oh, that was a dicey
I didn't hear
word.
what you said. What?
That's I'm not going to repeat it.
I feel I can figure it out. I will note that time down, sir.
Yes, please. Yeah,
so
even when
there, and it will cut in now.
Thank you. Yeah, even when I had proper hair, even when I had proper hair and I didn't have a beard, I still look like an idiot. And see, this is it. I've not been out properly in quite a while now, really. Like you're talking properly out isn't getting up for 2 years, probably, I think.
Weird, that is. It's almost like there's been a global reason for that.
Yeah, weird. I mean, really, you could class it as even longer because I've not been out in a city properly drinking for probably longer than that.
Yeah.
So, but what would normally happen is I am unfortunately one of those people where another weirdo would be like, I'm making friends with him.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
100%.
If there's some freak, they will come up to me as I'm walking to the bus and be like, mate, what's your favourite Oasis song? What?
Oh, no, I thought you meant when you were in the club or the pub or whatever, you would go
Oh, no,
out
that
of
as
your-
well.
Yeah, I always go out of my way to have a conversation with a weird person because it's going to be fun. No matter however it goes, it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining in some manner.
There'll be a delicious anecdote. The one time that didn't happen where they weren't friendly is when it wasn't the weirdo approaching me. It was again out with the. I mean, I'm always the weirdo.
Yeah, I know. I generally can't wait to go out for a drink with you. I think it'd be quite fun. Even more so
we
now.
will just attract all the freaks.
When we do the recording, we can do it then.
Yeah,
if not before, anyway.
But when again we were out with CX and we were at a pub, and this was more of a kind of old man pub that's in central Leeds, and an old man came up, and there were a group of the lasses that worked with us, and he started chatting to them, obviously because dirty old man. Naturally. And one of them was kind of like, give me a signal, like, can you come and help us, please? You are the freak whisperer. And so I came over and it's to me like, you're all right, bud. And he just looked at me and just went, fucking look at you. I bet you're a fucking student. I've drunk bigger things than you fucking cunt.
I like how he said that first of all, like that's a bad thing to be a student. Oh, how dare you want to learn? How dare you?
That is, yeah, like that's one thing that I never got. That I never understood that because obviously we've both been to university, and
who's both?
Oh wait, did you go to college?
I've been to college. I never went to university because I looked at it and I got all the stuff to get in, and I was like, there was literally no reason for me to put myself in debt to go and get this thing.
Yeah, no,
especially when it comes to media as well. You know, that's what I was doing.
Can confirm. I have an arts degree and I've never used it. It definitely improved my the way that I thought about things, I guess. But you know, you could probably figure that out on your own. Yeah.
No, it depends. It depends.
But I remember when we'd go to pub quizzes, and if we'd win, it would be just haranguing of fucking students. And it's not just a student thing; it's just being smarter than you because you're fucking thick. I'm not a student now. Yeah, I'm not a student now. The last time I won a pub quiz, I wasn't a student, and I basically won it on my own because you were all fucking thick. So
I'd never won any pub. Actually, I've never ever. I've done a lot. I've never won a pub quiz. I have a lot of random ass knowledge, but I've never won a pub quiz in any group or anything. And I'm not always sure if my knowledge is correct either. Just to clarify, but
I have a lot of random knowledge that may not be knowledge, it may be lies.
I good 70-30. 70-30.
30.
Lies I've told myself anyway. But I did win a quiz night at bingo.
Oh. What did you what did you win as a result of that?
What did we win? Free. It was either free bingo or money. I can't remember. We won a few times, to be fair. It was me and my mum used to go up, and we even developed a team name. It was just known. We were Heels and Wheels. Because I walked and she was on a scooter.
Nice. Yeah,
I naturally love quizzes, though. You know, that's where the comedian quiz I came from. I just love quizzes.
I do too, but I got told that I couldn't take part in pub quizzes anymore with the people that I did it with the last time because I got too competitive. The aim is to win. If you don't want to be competitive, then fuck you.
See, I'm not competitive like that, but I'm competitive in the sense if I look over and someone's looking on their phone and I am angry. I am angry.
never really gave a shit about that. I gave a shit about it when I was running quiz, because that was something else I really enjoyed. Was when I ran pub quizzes. Me and the guy I did the podcast with would host them.
Meander.
I just really loved making them, and it's why I've enjoyed doing the quiz off stuff, because just being able to, you might have this bit of knowledge, or you can research this bit of knowledge, but then it's like, but how can I make it into something? How can I make this into a picture? How can I change the way that somebody gets to this answer? That's how I start. I start with the answer. I'm like, what can I do to get there? And some of the ones that I really liked that my friend did was when we did the Marvel quiz, there was a round where they had to put things in order. So it was you got given, say, 4 of the movies, and you had to put them in the order that you thought they were in running time. And then you got given 4 actors/actresses, and you had to put them in order that you think they came in terms of screen time, and then budget and stuff like that. And it's having that knowledge there, here is the budget for a Marvel movie, and then being able to go, but how can I put this into a thing? And I was really enjoy making a quiz, getting those juices flowing.
And as well, every time you put an answer to a question as well, it's always because you were kind of interested in the answer to that question. At some point, it was a question you asked yourself.
With the one exception being when we did a Breaking Bad / Walking Dead conjoined quiz. I'd watched maybe 3 episodes of Breaking Bad at the time, and I watched 2 episodes of Walking Dead, and I didn't like either of them. I'm like, well, Dr. Google is going to get a workout here.
You have seen them since, though?
I've actually watched all of Breaking Bad since, and I still can't say it's the greatest thing ever. My favorite episode of Breaking Bad was the bottle episode, The Fly, which is ironic given this fucking fly that's buzzing around. But I really liked that episode.
Same.
Because it can show how good a bottle episode can be when it's well written.
You do realise that is the episode that is undoubtedly hated by all Breaking Bad fans. That is their worst episode. And I agree, I loved it.
Yeah, because
I love them kind of episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've got to a point where shit, we just need an episode where we don't use an awful lot of stuff, and it's just pure thing. It's just been we need to make the best dialogue and action between 2 people in a room, and that's my favorite episode.
When it comes, because I look at them and episodes with have you ever watched Community?
Yeah.
Okay, so I only recently got into that, and I've only finished watching it about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I look at all those random, the episodes where they do paintballing or the hot lava on the floor episode. I look at them as the same kind of thing. An episode that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it's its own separate thing. I didn't really buy into him that much, with the exception of the odd bottle episode The Fly. I wasn't that much of a fan of them in other things, and I saw how they did it in Community, and I quite like that concept of being able to do that now.
Yeah, it is. That, like I said, that I think shows whether you've got a good writer or not. Because a good writer, with, who Kevin Smith is, right?
Yeah, Kevin Smith. Yeah.
I like to think his movies, for the most part, are basically just a set of bottle episodes altogether, because it's all dialogue pretty much, and that's why, especially his early movies Clerks.
Clerks is the only one I can think of, in all honesty. That and Jane Silent Bob, that I assume is him as well, because it's just from that.
Yeah, so you got Clerks, you got that, you got Chasing Amy, Mallrats, and Dogma. If you've not seen Dogma, you need to see Dogma. That is my favorite Kevin Smith film, which is both a sort of a critique and a love letter to religion at the same time. And it is just, I just think that is his best work personally. But it just the way that he obviously writes, even he said, it's just 2 people having a conversation, which is why he'll never get hired for a Marvel movie, because he can't do action stuff.
Yeah, it's just
he is a dialogue writer, and that's I like that.
Same. Like there's one kind of like bottlenecky kind of like episode I want to do for the program we're going to be doing. That I really want to do a Groundhog Day episode because it's not done enough and it's hard to do. But if you do it right, it could be so good, and you can play it ambiguous as well, whether it's actually happening or whether it's just in one person's head. You know what I mean? There's so many little things you can do about that. I only came up with that idea a few days ago, so I haven't fleshed it out at all. But I think it could be good if done well.
Interesting.
Could be fun. Fuck knows how we're going to do it. Well, I've got a few ideas, not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few possible methods of getting to the end point. How we get there is a completely different matter. That's again, it shows whether you're any good or not, or if you're getting people to improvise anything, how good they are at sort of being their character as well.
Yeah.
And understanding what they would say in those positions.
A lot of the characters I had for this one, for example, I had ideas in my head, and then depending on the people that have now agreed to do it, they've slightly changed as well. Like your character slightly changed on what I originally was going to have him as.
Okay.
Leanne's character was essentially like an amalgamation of two that I put together just more to fit her because it's Leanne and it just works perfectly. Some of the stuff she does, you know, like the first scenes between you and her, and it just works so well in my mind. And I've written that out. I'm like, yeah, okay, that could be funny.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Interesting.
I'm more than anything, I think it's just going to be really fun for us all to get together and just have something like that to do.
Yeah. And then obviously just jizz in a bucket.
Well, obviously, how else are you going to end the episode? Or any episode? How would you end anything other than jizzing in a bucket?
Yeah.
Literally how I end every night.
Yeah. Have you
I try to, and I normally miss, but
have you written your own song for the intro and outro?
No, did I not send you the intro over?
You did. Yeah.
That's a concept version, but that's the actual song that we've made for it. I'm gonna add a few more bits in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What would if you had like an ideal, like say if you could get a commercial song, what would there be anything that you would want? No.
I don't. I hate with a passion sitcoms that start with an actual song. I love The Office intro. I love Parks and Recreation intro. I hate Community's intro, for example. I hate it.
What is Community's intro?
The reason I can say.
Oh yeah.
It's cool as a song. I just don't think it works as an intro. I don't like that. I like random things.
You also would have liked the English Office because that obviously had Handbags and Glad Rags being sung by the Stereophonics.
I only watched the first episode.
What?
I watched the US one first, and then I started watching the English one because I do love Ricky Gervais. And then I realised every joke is in the first Office US pilot episode. So I didn't know if it carries on the same as that. I didn't want it to ruin the US Office for me.
Right. Okay. You see, I think that's where, and a lot of people have said this to me because I had this thing where I obviously watched the English Office first, and then I watched the first episode of the US Office. Obviously, it came second. I was like,
yeah, of course.
This is just Steve Carell doing a pretty bad Ricky Gervais impression, and everybody looked and acted very similar to the English version, and it kind of carried on through that first series.
Yeah, but that first series is like 6 episodes long as well, though.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is why in the second series, I think people sort of said, "No, you're your own characters." Maybe Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant or whatever. They're like, "No, you're your own characters. Don't try and ape what we did anymore. You are Michael Scott. You're not David Brent."
It just changed completely. Like even the look of him, everything about it changed completely. Like the hair changed, the stuff he was wearing, the way he acted towards people. He became more of a kid rather than a Ricky Gervais dickhead.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I only watched for the first time, other than watching that first episode, because I remember watching that first episode of the US Office on BBC Two, and just immediately being like, "Nope, not for me." And obviously, that was 15 years ago, maybe about that.
Yeah, it was 9 years old. It went for 9 years. The Office US did, and it's been done for a while.
Yeah,
Been finished for a long while.
But I've only watched
Parks
it
and Rec
all.
was a spin-off from it, so
I've only watched it all in the last 12 months. Like, that's how recent, and I grew to enjoy it. And yeah, with Community, I only watched that in the past year because I'd seen the first series on All 4 a few years ago when people were saying good things about it, and I'm like, yeah, it's all right. I watched all the first series. I'm like, yeah, I can take or leave this.
Yeah.
And then rewatching it again when I'm a bit older and getting into the later series or the second, third series, and that's when things click.
And as we're comedians, we love things comedy. You can't help but read into all that kind of stuff. You still have an appreciation for Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Until you read about what it was like in real life, you're like, I don't really like Chevy Chase.
Do you know what, though? At the same time, everything I heard about how he was before watching Community, assuming what I've heard was true, and then really looking into what actually happened. No, nothing about what he did was racist, first of all. None of what he did was racist. Do you actually know what it was? Like that racist thing he did, apparently.
I honestly can't remember.
It was because he does not get on with the showrunner Dan Harmon, the Rick and Morty guy, and basically he hated the writing. He was always talking about how we're just taking the piss out of stereotypes and all this and that, and he was like, "You're effectively going to make me now say N-word from earlier. You're going to just essentially make me say that." He said the word,
right?
But out of context, when you actually listen to what he's saying, he was like, "This is so bad and so racist. You may as well just make me say." Is what he said,
which is ironic because he has on live TV said that word before to Richard Pryor in a Saturday Night Live sketch, which still I find amazingly funny. When
I've seen that.
I might have to try and find it, but it is.
I've seen that little feud that they had on the main bit I saw was him and Richard Pryor on, I think it was Johnny Carson, whatever it was back then, their late night from back then.
I don't know if I've seen that, but yeah, on this I think Chevy Chase is playing like a doctor, and Richard Pryor comes in with like a problem, and he just sort of it might be a psychologist or something. I think he just says like, "How do you feel about this word?" and he uses like a mild racial one, or "What would your response be to this?" or something. And it's like, I won't say the word, but it is something mildly racist. And then Richard Pryor's like, "Honky," and then he says another slightly worse racist word, and then Richard Pryor says, "Honky, honky," and then he says the N word, and then Richard Pryor stares at him and goes, "Dead honky." Like it's still just like is brilliant, and I think that's something that a lot of people forget is there's a lot of picking and choosing sometimes when it comes to cancellation stuff. Like,
look at Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, like Stuart Lee. I have a DVD wherein he says the N word. Like very audibly, but he is saying it in the context of somebody else saying it.
Yeah.
So he's repeating what somebody else has said to then make fun of that person. And again, if you take that out of context, it would just be in 2004, 5, whatever this DVD is from. Stuart Lee said, "Where I'm from, this person would have been known as a fucking lazy," because that was the quote that this person said.
Yeah. He was repeating.
Yeah. So if you wanted to, you could probably quite easily get him cancelled. You'd be like, I have proof that Stuart Lee has said racist words. But then there are some people who have been rightfully cancelled because they have been purposely
especially
bear-baiting.
now. especially now, because now it's at a different point where it's like you understand the concept of why just not saying the word. Like if you're gonna quote someone saying it, just say N-word. It sounds weird to say because it feels like you're a kid saying the F word again and stuff like that. You know, when the F word meant fuck.
And obviously he is somebody who kind of deserved to be cancelled, which is Louis C.K. If you know who he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got a bit where he said the N-word because it was based around that. Because
that's not why he got cancelled, though.
No. It was something much more.
That's another one, though. That's a bit ambiguous because he literally asked them if he could masturbate in front of them.
No.
You know what I mean?
If this is not somebody who you were like in some manner of relationship with.
No, not in a manner of relationship, but I mean like in the same. If it would be a lot worse to just stand in front of someone, not let them leave the room and start masturbating in front of them, but asking them, and then if they say yes, you know what I'm saying though, you're supposed to ask for permission. That's the main thing. Consent.
In this case, yes, chlamydia is better than gonorrhea, but it is still a sexually transmitted disease that you do not want.
It's a weird kink. It's strange. For Louis C.K., it was a weird kink. It's strange. It isn't right, but at the same time, I don't. But then again, it isn't right. It's literally someone saying this. It's like saying, "Can I kiss you?" They say no. You don't kiss them. If I say yes, you kiss them. Can I masturbate in front of you? No, I won't.
But at the same time, you wouldn't be doing that.
So you know what I'm saying.
You tend not to go up to somebody who you have very little interaction with, who you are effectively the boss of, and go, "Can I kiss you?" Like that.
Was he really the boss? No, he wasn't the boss of them. No, it's just he was higher in the comedic ranking. You know, if
it's that thing though of how the comedic power ranking works, it might not be an official thing, but one word from him could send them much further down. It's a complex issue. It's not
a black and white as people like to make it out to be, and that's what bothers me about cancel culture a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, and I've made known before that I am very left wing. I have a hammer and sickle tattooed on my body. I'm a communist.
I forget what left wing means.
So left wing is essentially wanting to redistribute the wealth of all these rich fucking billionaires. Do you know what? I wouldn't even go as far as to destitute them. I go along with there is a YouTuber who's a video game reviewer. They're sort of just in the games media now, called Stephanie James Sterling. They were called James Sterling or Jim Sterling, and they're now transitioning.
Okay.
So they become Stephanie James Sterling, I believe. But their policy is nobody can earn more than 999,999,999 whatever and 99 whatever. Why do you need $1 billion of a currency? Unless it is something, like a Zimbabwean dollar, which is worthless in the grand scheme of things. That's fair enough. But why do you need £1 billion? How can a human spend £1 billion of their own money where it is there purely to earn more money, basically?
Yeah.
Why do you not just have anything extra that you earn just funneled back in to good causes to improve
that'd be
the
cool.
rest of humanity?
That'd be cool, but it's kind of up to them, isn't it, really?
And you don't become a billionaire by being a good person. So,
that's probably true.
And I will also point out, I am also pretty hardline communist, because quite frankly, if you gave me a gun and Boris Johnson, and he said, if you want to, you can shoot him absolutely scot-free, I'll shoot him through the fucking head. I'm not going to lie. The man is human trash. I have but he's a father. When he got COVID.
That doesn't mean anything.
When he got fucking COVID, I was one of the people who was like, good, fuck him. I hope he dies. He's caused this.
A lot of people were like that.
But there were a lot of people, including people I used to work with, who were just like, have some humanity. He literally said he wants your fucking grandma to die. He literally said that. Now you want me to have some humanity? No, I'm sorry. he does not give one single flying fuck about you or anyone you care about. His death. Where's my drawing? His death will go unmourned.
Don't get me wrong, I do not envy the position that he was put in.
No.
Like, having to deal with this shit that came out of nowhere. Did a better job than Trump still.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We could have done a better job than
Trump.
We
would have done a much better job
We could have sat down in a pile of our own shit and done nothing. It would still have worked out better than what Trump did.
Yeah, completely agree with you.
Yes, there has been undoubtedly some positives. Like through
quite a few positive tests, apparently.
I despise the Tory government, and it might have been one of the things that led to the breakdown of my marriage, because she is quite right wing, and I just really couldn't get along with that. So our family was normally quite right wing as well. But there has been some undoubted positives. But the thing is, anything good that generally comes out of a government, like a conservative government or a Republican government, isn't because they want to do it. Like gay marriage isn't because they think, like, do you know what we need? We need gay marriage because we're sick of the fact that gay people cannot have the same rights. They do it because it's being brought to them by people who are powerful, or they want to earn votes, or people are just being fucking noisy about it. That's why they do it. They don't do it out of any genuine compassion. They do it because they think, well, this will shut them up, or we can make some money off this, because that's all they care about. And this is why I despise being on the left wing at times, because the right wing is basically, here, we just want to earn as much money as we can. Brown people are shit. There we go. That's it. And that will be their little push. Here, that is you. Whereas on the left wing,
the right wing are the racist ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whereas on the left wing, I realise I'm doing it with my wrong hand, but whereas like on the left wing, it's so really, as you see with cancel, it's really easy to fucking fracture us, because you can't have one single view on the left wing. Say if like Keir Starmer said, like, look, we're going to run on the issue of the environment and the economy. I'm not going to run on any basis on anything based on trans rights. A lot of people would then immediately say, I will never vote for you as long as you're having nothing to do with trans rights. And they don't realize that that is going to be the guy who's probably going to get you anything. And he's not saying he's not doing it. Like, he's never going to do it. He's just not running on it now, because guess what?
It's not one of his.
You ain't getting fucking elected because you want to stick up for trans rights. It's needed. Like, you absolutely should support trans rights, but if you're gonna,
it's not like a big topic issue that most of the population will gravitate to. Yeah,
and that's it. That's what you need to do, because unfortunately, people in mass, they're fucking dumb. They're fucking dumb.
We're all fucking dumb. The smartest person's dumb, because you can know loads about one thing, but then there are so many things you just don't know about, or just have no even conception of. Like, you know,
common sense. The smartest people I know tend to be the dumbest.
Oh, because
and like my uncle has a doctorate. He's a doctor of physics, and there was, like, I remember there being a board game that he couldn't figure out, and I was like, "Are you kidding? This is remarkably simple. Why don't you understand this concept? You have a doctorate."
Very smart people come across as very dumb.
That's it, and it's because it's exactly like you say. It's because they have this sole focus on sort of one thing. So they're like, it's not autism, but it's that same thing where you have this laser focused,
exactly,
single-mindedness.
Best example to describe it is, best example to describe it is, I'm an idiot, as you know, but I have an IQ of 131 apparently.
Oh wow. I imagine that's probably higher than mine if I took an IQ test.
It's very high apparently, like top 1% kind of genius thing. But that just means it can mean like a very like different level of things, basically.
Yeah, and that's it. And like an IQ test is, generally speaking, 3 things it tests you on, which is number recognition, word recognition, and pattern recognition.
Like that, yeah.
And
logic's my wheelhouse.
Yeah. And like, so you can't. Human experience is based on an awful lot more than that. Like you could have an IQ of 173, but if your tire on your car explodes and you don't know how to put a new tire on, guess what? You're a dumb motherfucker. In that situation, you're going to the guy in the dirty overalls who can barely string a sentence together because guess what? He knows how to put a fucking tire on that, and you don't. You thick prick. And
a lot of these smart people as well will do one test and then get a really good grade and then be afraid to do it again for another like 12 years or something because they're like, well, I know I've taken a lot of drugs since then and it's going to have gone down substantially. And I may not be talking about anyone else other than me right now.
Yeah, weird. Weird. Well, we'll do that when we do Quiz Off Live, shall we? We'll do a group IQ test, see who comes out on top.
My internet might suddenly die at that point, though.
Yeah, weird. But yeah, that is the thing that and I remember when I was in first school, because when I was young, we had first school, middle school, and upper school. So.
Oh, you were one of those places I like to think there was in America. Okay.
Yeah, basically. That doesn't exist anymore. It's now just a primary and a upper school, I guess.
Still not the normal way. Most people call it secondary in England.
Secondary, sorry. I don't know. I just call it upper school because that's what we used to call it. But yeah,
a lot of places do. They've started taking on a lot of the American traditions now, even more so to do graduations than over here for like my kids who are in junior school still.
I just fucking couldn't. I didn't want the prom that we had. I was like, this is a bit much. Can we not all just go to the fucking pub?
I thought the same thing as well, especially considering I went to a boys' school.
Oh God!
And we had an end of year dance.
It just like
there was a girls' school down the road. That's what they did because even back then it was pushing the two genders together because
and that's how the first baby Hinken was born. One drunken dalliance across the dance floor. Jesus, you were a good shot.
Or a really bad one.
Yeah. Sorry, I was aiming for her.
I was aiming for the window.
Yeah.
Ricocheted all over the place like a Happy Gilmore crazy golf at the end.
Yeah. But I hated that, and I couldn't when people do I know someone who's given birth this year, who I went to school with and who I had my first date with, and maybe I'm kind of glad I dodged that bullet because she did a fucking gender reveal, and it's like, don't you do this shit? Don't you?
It's like a gender reveal for a baby or something, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not for herself. I know I'm 33. Guess what? I'm a female. Oh, well done. Okay.
Well, there's like 100 genders to choose from nowadays, man. So you got plenty of choice.
Well, yeah. But where was I? Bad American things. So I remember being told in first school, meandering off topic. I remember being told in first school, somebody we were going around and telling the teacher what we wanted to be when we grew up. And when I was little, I wanted to be a paleontologist. I was mad into dinosaurs, like stupid. And someone else said they wanted to be a mechanic. And I remember her saying oh no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do manual labor. You want to be a lawyer or a doctor or something. You don't want to do manual labor.
Considering your accent, I can imagine.
But just ever since then, I've always had thinking why wouldn't you the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. Everybody has a function within society, and not everybody can be a doctor or
and because back then the idea of they were trying to plow into it, and they still I assume they still do it now, but I remember being in school, they really plowed the idea of going off and going as far as you can in education, college and then university. And Yeah, it's just not the kind of thing that everyone wants to do. And like, I don't even think it's a case. I think most people can do most things. If they want to do it, they can do it.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. At least to some degree. And like, so obviously I being a little bit older than you, so I was kind of going into school just as Margaret Thatcher was coming out. And obviously that was the big thing, was like manual labor. We're getting rid of that. That's going to China. That's going to India.
That right. Statement right there is what has shown your age now.
All right, calm down.
I'm not the one that needs to calm down. I'm not the one that needs to take my vitamins and shit, man. You know, both.
I'm not gonna lie. In the morning, I take a vitamin tablet. I take a cod liver oil tablet, and I take a vitamin D tablet as well as my antibiotic, obviously.
That's fair enough. I take plenty of natural herbs as well.
Yeah, weird. What the fuck was I saying? Right, back into Margaret Thatcher. So Margaret Thatcher left in 91.
When you go back into Margaret Thatcher, when were you there the first time?
Oh, here we fucking go. I
mean, that would be a good story, to be honest with you.
Wouldn't it? Crawling inside Margaret Thatcher as a young boy.
Do you manage to get through those iron gates?
Oh, the literal iron curtain.
Yeah, I imagine that's where that comes from. The only thing that makes sense to me. Margaret Thatcher, to be honest, sounds like exactly the epitome of the kind of person that would have a legitimate chastity belt.
She would, but she'd also be like a dominatrix. Like,
and you'd have to pay a toll as well for it.
Yeah, she would definitely be into pegging, I reckon. That's what she would have been into. Like, she'd have hated, and I think she probably did, because I did a little bit of studying about her for a degree that I didn't finish. But she sort of hated other women. So I reckon she probably hated having a vagina. So I reckon she was definitely a pegger. Right. Back to my story. I
don't know what a pegger is again now, in all honesty.
Pegging.
Well, strap on.
Yes, there we go. Or a woman asserts dominance. I also
kind of want to know what was the thing that you, the degree that you failed or something. But carry on with the Margaret.
Oh no, I didn't fail. I was doing a master's degree in history.
Cool.
That's what my degree is in. It's a history degree, and my final year dissertation was on oh hell, what did I call it? I have my ex actually got me a self-published book printed with it. I can't remember what it was now, but it's basically heavy metal 1979 to 1997. I can't remember the full title now. The birth of heavy metal, I think, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. But basically,
no, especially from history. But okay.
That's because history can be anything, man. Anything that's in the past is history.
I decided I wanted to do history and theology if I was going to go to university. I was like, fuck media. I love media, but I don't need to go to college, university to get any further with that. But then I really wanted to do that in university, and I was like, what the fuck kind of job am I going to get from putting myself into debt doing that? What am I going to get from that?
Yeah, you don't get anything, bruv.
No,
you don't get nothing.
I don't want to teach people because fuck other people.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to lie, though. Sometimes I look at teachers' salaries and I think, fucking hell, I wish I'd gone into teaching now.
Can they get the summer off?
Yeah. But I
did in the classroom as well.
I did that.
Great for you.
I did that.
I don't know if you know if you're short, but I haven't actually seen you in person. I don't think yet. But I don't know.
I think I'm just a scooch from the 6 foot. Last time I was measured anyway.
Okay, 5 taller than me in that case then. Well, right, same then.
Yeah. So I did like the heavy metal stuff as my final year dissertation, and then I was going to carry it on, and I was doing heavy metal. So I think the title was something like, I still have this somewhere saved, but I think it's like heavy metal and the new right, and like a contrast between America and Britain, particularly in the 80s, because in the 80s you had Margaret Thatcher over here and you had Ronald Reagan in America, and they were very similar. They got on really well, but they were both very similar in their sort of ideologies and the way that they worked and thought. But in America, you obviously got you got your Motley Crue, you got your glam metal, and
glam rock,
you also got like thrash metal. You had Metallica and Slayer and Megadeth and everybody coming out, and you had like
more 90s.
No, they started
80s?
in. They
I
started,
know
yeah,
Metallica, but
no, they all started about 81-ish, between sort of 81 to 84 is when you have that big thrash rising.
is
And
that
it's
the
sort
big
of,
four you always hear about?
yeah, so your big
Yeah.
four, you got your Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Metallica.
Yeah. I've seen like 3 of them. Didn't give a shit when I saw them either.
Oh my God, I would have loved to see the big four concerts.
I think I left during Metallica, actually. I was a download. I was very high. I just didn't give a shit, to be honest, about them.
Nah, I love Metallica, man. But
Maybe
you had them over there, and you had like that was obviously the biggest thing. I mean, obviously, you had stuff like Michael Jackson. Pop was still very big,
yeah.
But MTV was kind of really based around like the girls video and stuff, and you had this big wave of metal on, which stemmed from like New York and San Francisco, California, and just kind of coming together. Whereas over here, you got fireworks going off. Of the drugs,
yeah, you can hear that.
Yeah, man. You've either got a really good microphone or those are really close.
They're not that close, to be fair. It's not. Well, it is a good microphone.
Yeah. Whereas over here, you didn't really have a big metal scene in the 80s. Everybody kind of left because you had back end of the 70s. You had like your Iron Maiden, your Judas Priest, Saxon coming out, but then they all kind of it wasn't very big over here comparatively. They had to go over to America to become big.
Yeah, we had like Black Sabbath were like some of the bigger ones over here, weren't they?
Well, even there, like they were big. Obviously, Sabbath started in 70, and they were pretty much the only metal band for quite a while, which can be contested if you really look into it. There's a lot of
that's why like the Midlands where I am always gets like referred to as the birth of metal because of Black Sabbath and stuff.
Oh yeah, I went to there was like a full 2-day, I think it was 2-day set of like seminars that were down there, which was all about heavy metal. It was in Wolverhampton. And yeah, that was probably the best thing that I did doing my master's course, going down there just for like 2 days and just won a heavy metal pub quiz. Because I fucking win. I win. That's what I do.
And you're writing a dissertation on it. I hope you would win.
Oh no, these were people who were like, there were professors and shit there. And these are people who were like, they were both learned and also metal people. I'm so glad I managed to let them all down by not finishing my degree. But yeah, so you had that and like the metal that started it here in the 80s was more like, it was really like grindcore. So like you had like Napalm Death and stuff, which was just that horrible, I can't stand it, that like horrible guttural music.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I love my metal, love rock. Yeah. Don't like the sound of when they're singing, it just has got a fucking cough. It's like you just need to get a little. I fucking hate that. I hate that so much. It's good that it's finally getting past that now with the kind of music we have now. Even the really heavy shit has got some actual level of singing in it, some harmonization.
I don't mind it when it's mixed, like a Kill Switch Engage.
Yeah,
I really different. Like.
That's not. I wouldn't even call that metal most of the time. It feels like hard rock to me more than anything.
Oh.
Not Kill Switch.
This is the problem. That heavy metal, also like the left. Jesus Christ, heavy metal. The amount of people like that's not metal.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Which is why I was kind of working in theory. A lot of people have tried to make a definitive thing of like, well, what is classed as metal, and it'll never work because you'll always have dickheads like, that's not metal.
It's because metal's got too many subgenres as well now, and like death metal and doom metal get lumped in as metal now.
It is like, all like
new metal as well. I like new metal.
When you actually research like the tree of metal, Jesus Christ, there's just so many, and that was part of what I would have had to do, because you have to write anything like that you write, you have to write as if you're writing for an idiot. So I would have literally had to do footnotes if I'd have said like System of a Down, a member of the classed as new metal, and then after a footnote, they're like new metal generally is this, and it would have just
feel weird, like almost like they originally kind of started off with like a mix between rap and metal, but then you have bands like Slipknot who are apparently the starters of new metal, but that doesn't sound like what new metal became.
Yeah, it is really weird because there was rap metal, like that's what I class Rage Against the Machine as that, and you had Body Count with Ice-T. Whoa, you wouldn't class
Rage is not metal.
Wow,
It's just not.
Oh,
I mean, the lead guitarist doesn't even class himself as a guitarist; he classes himself as a DJ.
Well, that's Tom Morello, though, isn't it?
That's the main thing, though, and it's very like I love playing along to rap music and stuff. But that's got the same kind of feel to it as well. But it does have a lot. It's once again I'd class it as rock, like kind of like a weird alternative funk rock. No, not even funk. I don't know.
But this
never class it as metal.
This is why music's so hard. A lot of music can't really be categorized very easily. Like good bands generally can't be in it, or sometimes shit bands as well. But it is.
You'll hate that about another band I've got to see, like at the front, like right up front row, Rage Against the Machine. It was amazing, so good. It's like 2009 when they did their reunion finger download. It was so good, so fucking good.
I think, to be fair, I've never been to a bad gig, so I've been quite lucky. Even the last gig I went to was a band called Ghost, if you've heard of them.
I have heard of them.
And they are metal. Like, a lot of people said they're not metal. They are metal, but it's just because they've got a bit lighter. And I like the way, like, it kind of infuses disco into metal. I'm sorry, I'm fucking about that. There's some fucking bops. I might send you one because gets me funky. If I'm down there and we're in a club and Ghost comes on, I'm fucking dancing that shit. But like they had two opening acts who weren't particularly great, but I still wouldn't class it as a bad gig. And like I've seen Ghost twice. I fucking love them.
Doesn't really matter if the opening acts aren't that great anyway. If the main act is okay, then you're good. That's all you really came to see.
It's when this, like the second opening act, it's a bit like if a comedian came on, like an opening act, and we're just like, I know you're only here to see the person at the end, so I'm not even really going to try that hard. That's basically what they said. It's like, we all know that you're here to see the guys in the face paint, so we're just going to do what we can. And it's like, wow, fucking hell, you've given up before you even started. But I think they must have had like a bad gig or a bad reception like the night before or something. This was
doesn't matter. You shouldn't let that get to you anyway. Maybe they were just wasted or at the end of a trip.
Maybe they were shit.
It's not a reason.
They were like they were basically like a prog metal band. They just had like they barely had lyrics. They had songs that went on for like 7 minutes. You're like, yeah, this is a bit much. Like, nah, I don't know who you are. Your songs aren't catchy. There's a lot of drone going on.
Have you ever had like when a random surprise would just pop up at a gig?
What, like a song that you're like, shit,
no. Like, I remember once, like, I don't know, it's probably like 10 years ago now, so when Blink did their tour. I love Blink 182 as well. All of that kind of pop punk music, I love all that summer 90s. It's great. And I got, actually, by the person I was with at the time, bought me tickets, like, didn't tell me, got everything arranged, got my mate aware of it, and he was going with me. And just didn't tell me till like the day before, you know. So I was suddenly the day before, I was like, I'm going to see Blink tomorrow. Really? And I got there. I can't remember who it was. There was some other band on first that I kind of liked. And then we were waiting to Blink to come on. And all of a sudden they're like, we got a random surprise for you. And all of a sudden it just popped up on the screen, All American Rejects. And then they were there just randomly.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Did like a proper like half an hour set. And it was just, I fucking love All American Rejects too. That was probably my favorite ever like gig that I've been to, and that was just them as well rather than a festival.
Oh, nice. No, I've not had that. The gig that I was most surprised by that everybody did quite well was have you heard of All Time Low?
Yeah.
So my ex was really into them.
They're good.
And so we got tickets to go see him, and their support was a band called has he done it? Oh, no, he's just knackered. He's just knackering his bedside table.
Oh, it's fucked already.
Yeah. So one of the support acts was called Against the Current, if you've heard of them.
I haven't heard of them, no.
They're like a female-fronted kind of rock band. They're quite good. They did a very good cover of Uptown Funk.
Oh, okay.
And so they were really good. And then the second support act, it was like the first gig back in the UK in like a decade. It was Good Charlotte. And
oh, wow.
They were like really good. They literally just did all the hits and stuff, but they were really good. And I was also really amused that the couple in front of us, once Good Charlotte finished, got up and walked out. Like, they're going to say the all-time low shit. I came here to see Good Charlotte. Which,
to be fair, it's kind of crazy that Good Charlotte would be supporting anyone, especially once they're at a more later on point, you know, like when they're coming back.
I think it is because they'd been out of the game so long.
And just playing the classics.
Yeah.
It
was basically like just getting them back into like a music mode, I think. But yeah, they were really good. And then All Time Low came on. I was never a big All Time Low fan. You know, they got some catchy songs, but they were really good. Although
they're missing Di Maria, isn't it?
Yeah. Their lead guitarist was a little bit concerning when he's just like, because like the primary audience for All Time Low, especially at the time, was like 15-year-old girls.
Yeah. That would show why they would have Good Charlotte as their supporting, because a lot of them might not know Good Charlotte because they're too young.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then, like, when the lead guitarist, who was obviously a few beers deep, was just like, "We fucking love British pussy," and the lead singer was like, the lead singer was like, "Yeah, Ian."
Is that because the age of consent is younger over here? Is that why you love league in
maybe? But yeah, he ended up having his microphone turned off because the lead singer was like, no more words for him. No.
I understand that. When I was in my main band in the past, I wasn't allowed a live mic. I just wasn't allowed one. That's what made me want to get into like having my own mic, and then I found I like talking on a mic. It's fun.
Yeah, you did the Billy Connolly thing where it's like, do you know what? Maybe I don't want to do music. Maybe I want to stand up here and talk. And maybe I want to say all the horrible things that are on my mind. And people seem to laugh at that. That's weird.
Music's great, to be fair. Music's like, it's just a whole different kind of thing. I really want to get back in and do some more gigs in that music, because it is really fun, but it's just a completely different thing, especially for me as a drummer at the back. You know, you just can't get involved. Like, do you do any kind of like, do you play anything or?
No, I've got 3 guitars and a bass, but I've only ever like done tab stuff. Like there was a point where I was getting okay. Like I knew a few chords, but like I couldn't. I've got a guitar here with me, but like I couldn't do like a Back in Black or anything right now. Like I've never been to that. I've never been like at a jamming standard really, but I have always wanted.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, I've always sort of wanted to try and do music, just even in somewhere, like, just because it's one of the things, just another form of expression. I think that if you are someone like us, it was like we want to express ourselves, but also entertain people. Like I like making people feel good. It's really nice, you know, when you've.
It's nice for you. It's nice for them. Yeah. Any comedian that says they just do it for them, like sorry, you don't just.
That's my alarm. That's one of your taking my pill.
Oh, your antibiotic. Yeah.
Yes. Don't worry. It can take place any time after now. I have had sufficient time since food that I may have my antibiotic.
Well, I think it's okay to take an antibiotic on camera. I think it's okay. I think we can get by. I think it's legal. I hope it's legal.
Let me go grab my precious pill.
You go and grab your precious pill, sir. See, normally when I say I'm going to grab my precious pill on a podcast, I get told not to. I get told. Yeah.
Blister packed for your freshness. 500 milligram.
Which one did you get put on?
Flucloxacillin.
Yeah. That's one I actually. I'm one of those people. I will go as far with the fucking beastie things. Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, they smell.
I kind of like that taste of the plasticky kind of capsule thing.
Nah, can't be. That's not a thing. I don't like taking them because you've got to have them weird.
See, I think it's just years of drug taking has made me just kind of enjoy the taste of many things that I shouldn't enjoy. I say that I always make this point. I used to take so many more drugs back in the day. Like I just wouldn't now. Like just, I think you realize as you get older, it's fun to do as you're younger. Now I'm like 30. I'm like, I don't know. It's just don't want to do it most of the time.
Yeah,
it's not worth it as well because it takes days to recover.
Yeah, I never really got into the drug scene. I did, I smoked my fair share of weed, but I just never wanted to do any of the other drugs. They just seemed like they just fucked about with you too much. It's like when you'd hear like, oh, but the come down's bad. I'm like, well, why do I want that then?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why do I want something that's gonna be like when weed, generally speaking, depending on the strain, will just be like, yeah, you're all right. There you go.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They're fucking fun. Some of them, not so much. Some of them are fucking amazing. But then you get to the point and you think, oh yeah, these are good. And you take them too much. And then you're like, oh yeah, I can take loads of me and bomb it when I'm at a festival. It'll be absolutely fine. And then you trip out in a sea of people. You realize why drugs aren't great all the time. You learn very fast, trust me. I'm trying to figure out how to get that little story. I know I've told you before, like onto a trying to figure out how to put it into a bit to do on stage, And every time I've tried to do it so far, it just ends up in like, well, just very early, like when doing things. So you don't know where to go with it because it just sounds like at one point you're like, I just sound like I'm just a terrible person right now. Not a terrible person, but you more sympathetic than no, it's funny. It was generally funny. Now, at the time, scary as hell. Now, hilarious.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a way of doing it. It's it's going to be more about delivery than anything else, really, isn't it?
Just knowing the end is what I've figured out from talking to people that have seen me do it. Yeah. I think I know where I'm going with it for the future stuff, but
I've never. The worst thing that's happened to me on drugs is I ordered and ate a bolognese pizza. That was the worst thing because that was. I was at that stage where like this. I know this tastes like shit, but god damn, I want to eat it. And
I bet you kind of enjoyed it though.
I mean, I enjoyed that it was food.
Exactly, because of the drugs.
Yeah, my taste receptors were still working, and my head was going, "This is horrible. This is horrible." You know this, don't you?
Wait, what drugs was it?
That was literally just. I think it was some strain of weed. I don't know how the strength, whatever of it was.
So you enjoyed it. You always kind of whatever you're eating when you're high, even if you know it doesn't taste good, you still enjoy it.
Yeah, that's it. But we, the vast majority of the times I smoked weed, we smoked it through a Pepsi can with holes jabbed in by a compass.
Why?
We were doing it urban style.
Yeah, that's the urban style.
Yeah, literally just.
Why though? Why were you doing it like that?
That was just. They didn't have a bong or anything. They didn't have any wrapping papers. This, like I said, this is because I've not done it a great deal, but I've done.
Wait, so you didn't make a spliff?
I have. Spliffs have been made, but on
no. But I mean, like the beer can thing though, you didn't make a spliff. You just kind of had like a bucket thing, like I don't know, had like a pipe thing.
Effectively, the can, we jabbed holes in it with a compass, as in like for drawing, not a north, south, east, west. And that obviously didn't.
So that's different levels. There's a different levels at the schools that we went to because I know compasses because they were the thing that people used to chase you around with trying to stab you with.
I fucking knew someone who had tried to stab you with a compass. I bet you've been stabbed with a compass more than once.
I'm pretty sure I have. I don't remember any time. Everyone did at some point.
Yeah.
That and instead of paper balls, we had flaming paper balls. No lie.
Oh,
we had
my
flaming
Christ.
paper balls being thrown at people in class. It was a boys' school.
Yeah. Did you ever have I think it was strips of magnesium?
I didn't trust us with that. What are you talking about?
No. Well, no. Which is why I wondered if you're setting paper on fire, whether it'd be like, here is highly flammable magnesium.
We used to have gas. There used to be gas.
The gas taps.
Yeah, on the
burners.
In the science classes, they went away so quickly. They were there in year 7. I don't remember them being there in year 8. And if they weren't.
I can absolutely imagine you just like There we go. Homemade flamethrower. Just this close from blowing the entire school up.
There was some. We used to have like so much PE run. I used to spend so much time like in this big like PE kind of cupboard thing that they had where they kept everything, and it was just never locked. And loads of us knew this, so naturally that would be the place you'd go to fight and to wrestle and to do shit like that. I fucked up my coccyx once, like plowing someone through something, go flying through the mat, and I didn't realize the mat was away from the wall. Went flying down the edge of it and landed with my ass, like with a big metal tube, like not up my ass. Sorry, that didn't break me in that way. Across my ass.
Okay.
It's like buns going in like that, you know.
No judgment. No judgment here. Don't worry. Whatever
School,
you know, makes you buoyant.
School was very fun, in all honesty. Yeah. School was a lot because it was fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I do remember again in middle school. So the way that we had it, obviously 3 schools: first school, middle school, upper school. So first school was years 1 to 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And then middle school was meant to be
like junior
5, 6 years 5, 6, 7, and 8. So then that would be 9, 10, 11, 12, basically. And then your upper school was your last sort of 3 years of school, and then maybe sixth form stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how ours used to be structured. It's changed now.
Different. Yeah. Even for me, it was like I can't remember because I changed school in year 4. Yeah, it was year 4, but the school I left from, year 3 was a cut-off point to go then to junior school. So I just joined junior school at the school I was leaving, but the school I went to, that was still the other way around. Basically, I left in like junior school, but got put back into infant school and then had to go the next year up. It's the way around than what I was saying originally, yeah. So but and then we had 5 years of secondary school, year 7 to 11.
So all right, yeah. So you that's where you finished off, basically. That's where because 12 and 13's 12 and 13's year 6 form. Yeah. So that's where you finished. Ours was structured weird, but now I think it is basically the same as that, where it's like years 1 to 5 in the primary school, and then 6 to 11 in the secondary school, I think, or it might be 1 to 6 and then 7 to 11.
Yeah, it's definitely year 6 is junior now, because I know that because my oldest is just finished year 5 and he's going into year 6, and it's so strange because he's getting ready now for secondary school. And I remember what secondary school was like. It's such a culture shock. You go from being mummy cuddled and all that, you know, like, oh yeah, things are fine and all that. You go to secondary school, shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
people are crazy
when you're around people who are like 16 and feel like they're 15 foot tall. And like the first day, it's like, do you know what porn is? What's happening? Yeah. I don't even envy kids these days. I can't say I'd want to be a kid nowadays.
I wouldn't want to be a kid, but I'm a geek. I like learning, so any opportunity to learn shit, I kind of enjoy. But you know what though? I've realised we've gone 2 hours and we haven't even talked about wrestling yet. Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna, because I'm gonna run on fumes pretty soon. I'm gonna need bed. But we can talk about wrestling another time. We can rope in Stuart if we need to.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah,
not Daniel because he's in the Bahamas,
the Barbados.
Yeah.
This is more of an in your house, this is more of a random chat. We was going to get onto wrestling. I assumed we'd go onto wrestling quite quickly. To be fair, it's just not happening.
We did broach briefly. We just ever so delicately, I touched on the topic, and then we just diverged away. But that's fine. Nobody's fucking listening or watching this anyway. B, if they are, they're not going to do it for the wrestling. So,
well, yeah, in all fairness, that's why I was going to leave it to the end anyway.
Yeah,
I generally try to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be a kid nowadays, just because I think it feels like it's really tough to be a kid nowadays, because there was, peer pressure when we were young. I mean, despite the 4-ish, 3.5 year age difference. We're that is a fairly similar age.
Yeah, it is.
And, we had the peer pressure, but it wasn't as rampant as it was now, where it is expected to have so many high value things and such advanced things so young. That's
yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that, like, for me as a parent anyway, like, I think that's like kind of our job to instill into our like kids. Now I tell the boys all the time, it's like, like just a general kind of thing. It's like you'll get told, like, especially my older one now, getting to the point that he's getting to, like, you'll get told a lot of things about how you have to do this thing a certain way. And some of it's true, yeah, but at the same time, just remember, like, you can do what you want to do, like, in regards to, like, what you do after school, what you do. I was like, there's no rush on that. Just there's too much pressure put on it to, like, try and figure out what you want to do as a kid. Like, no one ever knows what you want to do as a kid. I didn't know what I wanted to do 5 years ago.
I still don't know what the fuck I want to do. I'm 34. I don't want to do the job I'm in. I know that, but I need to. I don't even necessarily think I'd want to do comedy as my job. I do comedy as a sort of as a hobby almost. If I could earn a living from it, cool, I guess. But it just seems to actually do comedy as a job seems like a lot of hassle. Like,
yeah.
And you do have to have that, because there's times all the time, even at our level, where it's like, I don't want to be creative. I can't bother thinking of a new joke. I don't give a fuck. But when you're like a proper comedian and you got to be on all the time, you got to be cycling through stuff, but
they're repeating the same thing a lot of the time, aren't they? For a large portion,
and then having to basically create a new thing for the next year.
Yeah,
it is a lot of work.
It's kind of fun work though.
Oh yeah, like, it beats going down the mine, but yeah, at the same time, like I said, I don't think I would really want to be. I would like to, if I was going to be involved in comedy, I would like to do it kind of like Vic and Bob, and doing things like shooting stars, or like what we do, because that is a side of things I really enjoy, or being like a host or something. I've found I quite enjoy that. Like when I did a thing that was never really properly released for a wrestling channel, and be like reading an auto cue, I found I was all right with. I thought I'd really kind of falter, but I think I did all right with it. I might send you the video because I don't think I've ever sent you it.
Okay.
And it's from like 3 or 4 years ago now, but
I think it's just
an idea.
I think a lot of us like pigeonhole ourselves as, like, when we say comedian, it's like, well, we just have to be a comedian, but really it's just working in like you were saying earlier, like performing, working at the public eye. Like, don't get me wrong, I kind of hate the public most of the time, but I like doing things in front of them. But yeah, I think it's like, I think for creative people as well, I think it really helps having your fingers in a few different pies, so that you can, when you're sick of one, you can move to the other and jump around, and that's how I try and do it anyway, because as soon as you're doing one thing, it's like you can just hit a block, and if you've got something else to move to, you do that, and then as soon as you finish doing that, it generally opens your mind and you figure something else while you're doing it for the other thing.
And that's, again, kind of going back to, I think, what we were originally talking about, but that's why I wanted to do like the quiz thing as my act, because look, there's a lot of straight white bald guys with beards out there who are doing dick jokes. Like, I could just be another one, or I can try and be different, and I can try and do something that I also am entertained by. I'm entertained by dick jokes. I love dick jokes. Amazing things.
We're all children.
Oh God, yes. Poo poo pee pee. Ha 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 ha. But just to be able to, I just like the idea of inverting things and just bring a different slant in it. And this is a problem that is, I don't know if it's rife in comedy, but I've definitely seen it, where people have a very restrictive view of like, here's what comedy is.
Yeah.
And this is what I want. This is what I expect of you. And it's like, nah, I will do the stuff. I'll do the waffle. I've not come here with any kind of game plan. I'm just going to talk.
It's very true. People get very snobby with things as well. Certain types of comedy as well. Like I love stupid, cheap stuff sometimes. Like some programs that you watch, and you know what they are. Like Mrs. Brown's Boys, for example. So many comedians and that rag on that because like, it's cheap and that, but it's fucking hilarious when you watch it. Like, however cheap it is, yeah, it's cheap, but it's still funny.
Whilst I cannot agree with you about finding it funny, yeah, I do agree that like
people say
the thing is, yeah, but that's it. The thing is, and it's unfortunately it is the same with right-wing comedians like Jim Davidson, Roy Chibby Brown. Believe it or not, if they weren't funny, then they wouldn't be there. People do find them amusing. People do find something to like about them. And that means they are comedians and they are funny. These things are funny. They're just not funny to you.
And don't assume that when someone's saying a joke, that's actually their opinion. I have so many jokes or so many things I say that I in no way believe. Completely the opposite normally, but it's funny. It's just funny to say it.
What the vast majority of us, when we're doing that, we are a character. We're not really us. You know, we're not really. You know, we don't really imagine that the piss sample that we are giving out is going to be taken away to the lab and it will be smelled and quaffed like wine, which was what one of the acts. Well, it was sort of one of the acts bits from the.
That doesn't happen to me
from the last gig. Yeah, that was like one of the acts bits from the last gig, and obviously that's not what she really thinks. It's just a spin-off of like, what if? And I mean, I say that I rag on Russell Howard because that is 1/3 of his entire set. Half of it is what if or can you imagine? Another third of it is just something in a Bristol accent, and then another third of it is just him pretending to be his dad. Like that, I never got on with Russell Howard. I'm very glad that Frankie Ball never liked him.
I agree. I've never been a huge fan of him, and the kind of way he does it, like that's to me is like the epitome of like cheap comedy. Is when you have to like put a video on or something. Like when he's doing his what's Howard Good News or whatever it's called. You have to put a video on to show something, and then just make a little comment after. Yeah, like it's fun to do with your friends. It's not really what you should be using as not what you should be using, but to me that's just like it's a bit easy, it's a bit cheap. Anyone can comment on something.
But that's just it. Like again, if it didn't work, he wouldn't be making a living from it.
Yeah,
people wouldn't be watching, and he would either not be there or he would have been cancelled. And not just in the not the way that we use it now, but it would be like, you have no viewers, we are cancelling your show. But,
and once again, I find that kind of cheap, but I'll still do it. Still do it. Totally.
Yeah. I'll sell my soul for rock and roll. Or money. Probably money more.
Yeah, more than money.
Yeah. But it's you know, some people act like they'd be so fucking pure and like this is purest comedy. I will never divert from this. When in reality, if they were told like, "Oh, do you want to be in this sitcom? We'll give you 100 grand." It's utter trash. Yeah, of course it will. It's 100 grand.
But naturally, all sitcoms are great though, and especially the new one I've heard about coming out soon, the smoking area, in the next year or so. Hopefully, apparently that's going to be really good. I don't know who's going to be in it, but apparently it's going to be really good. Sexy bastard that's writing it though. Apparently,
that sounds like it could be.
Giant dick.
He's a giant dick. Oh,
he's a giant dick.
Absolute colossal bellend. Someone called him.
And it's true.
Yeah. I've seen him. Looks like it as well. He's got a frenulum going down his head.
Got a what you on, what?
No, sorry, that was another big word there, wasn't it?
That was a big word. I didn't understand that one.
Banjo string. Do you know what the banjo string? You know the string that's on the back of your dick? That bit. That's it. What do you call it? Do you even know? Have you ever looked at the back of your dick?
Oh yeah, obviously.
You ever just twisted it around and looked at it like, oh, look at that. That's an entirely new perspective.
I think I just referred to it as the seam.
The seam. Okay.
It's kind of a seam.
You see, I refer to the seam as the ball sack, like the line.
I thought that's what we were talking about.
No, I'm like on the back of you. So you got your penis head, the bell end.
Yes.
On the other side of that. Have you literally never looked at?
Oh, you're talking about the thing that that circumcised people obviously don't have. The bit that connects the skin to the bell end. Basically.
Yeah.
I assume circumcised penises don't have that. Because that'd be like the main attache.
I think they do have it. It's
where does it attach to?
Well, because they don't.
Yeah. I mean, that's just such a.
It has to attach, but I guess it's just.
I mean, the fact that we do that though is such a weird thing. That it's normal to cut off skin from the end of a.
Barbaric.
It's so strange, and it's the norm in America. It's weird to see someone without it. Apparently,
it's like the fact that you can ban a woman independently of her own volition having a clitoral hood piercing because that is classed as genital mutilation. But
a piercing is,
yeah.
Okay.
But you will happily allow a baby to have a part of their anatomy cut off.
No choice.
Yeah, because apparently a fair few thousand years ago, someone in the sky said, I don't like that bit. Get off. Get off.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I forgot that it even originally came from the religious idea. I completely forgot that concept then.
And some people do it as it's healthier. It makes it cleaner. It doesn't. Absolutely no statistical evidence to prove that. There is nothing at all that provides any difference. As long
you know exactly what they mean. They mean when they're younger, it's one less thing for a guy to clean, is what they're saying. That's what they mean.
Look, I don't have to pull it back at all. I can just buff straight away.
It's so strange though, when you that's a big part of that story where the aliens come down that I was on about. So how does that makes no sense. From an outside point of view, that must seem fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially when you have to wait until you have to wait until you're 18 as well to have piercings or the majority and tattoos and stuff. Yeah. And gender mutilation is a whole thing that you can't do, like you said, with the piercing thing. But then at the same time, as a child, you can also choose to change them around to the other gender, which is a whole nother layer to that. It's just so crazy when you really think about it. From outside perspective, it makes no sense.
No, and even to briefly touch on religion,
touch on religion all day, happily.
Bringing a child up religious, in my opinion, is essentially a form of child abuse because
No, it's not.
You are
essentially it is a form of child abuse.
Okay, there we go. But you are limiting the way that child thinks, and you're not allowing them to make their own independent decisions. You are indoctrinating them. You are essentially creating a cult member, is what you're doing.
It is a cult. My original joke, what's the only difference between Christianity and a cult? The success rate.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
It is true, because literally to be a religion, you've got to have over a certain amount of members.
Yeah.
And before that, you're classed as a cult or a sect, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, I think sect is the official thing, but it means a cult, basically. Scientology.
It is it's a fucking same thing. It's
even Jediism is like a religion now, isn't it? As well, because of that. That's all.
I think it is
counts.
Officially at the level where it could
be.
Or
it was. I don't know if it is now. But...
maybe on a global scale. I think it is.
Surely it should be on a galactic scale.
This is the problem, though. It's from a galaxy a long time ago, far, far away. So
it is very true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of tough.
And let's be fair, if we're talking about things that don't make sense, we do not want to use Star Wars as a reference point. Because Star Wars is fucking ridiculous. Sorry, fucking ridiculous, that program.
I can't even.
That series, The Mandalorian, all of it. I tried to watch The Mandalorian. I really tried. And then this guy who's apparently a badass in the first episode had to get saved by, was it Wyatt Davis on a random thing? Animal. He would have died because this slow moving mini elephant rhino looking, I can't even remember, I just remember briefly in my mind, sneaked up on him somehow And not only did that almost kill him, but also Warwick Davis on one of them snuck up on him somehow. But apparently he's a badass.
I quite enjoyed The Mandalorian. But yeah, Star Wars. There's only like 2 good Star Wars films, really. Because when you look back at them, a lot of the Star Wars stuff, the original films, are generally viewed with massively rose-tinted glasses because they're not. When you actually watch them again, they're not that good. Like they're fairly poorly acted.
Yeah.
Even more so, the prequels. If you actually watch it from an acting point of view, Jesus Christ, they are terribly acted. The lines are delivered horribly for the most part. It's not good. And I used to like them.
The only thing I like from the prequels is what everyone else hated. I love Jar Jar. Jar Jar was great.
I fucking hate Jar Jar. That's because you're the human version of Jar Jar.
He's great. Jar Jar's amazing. Although he like becomes like the ruler at one point. That was a bit far.
Yeah.
Then he becomes some kind of leader at some point, doesn't he? For Padme's or whoever that weird person was at the time.
Gets put right into the background, which is fine.
Same place as E.T. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the 2 good Star Wars movies are The Force Awakens, which is basically just an updated retread of A New Hope.
Yeah.
But I just felt it was done a lot better.
Well, yeah, because New Hope, that was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they blatantly had, well, they've admitted since, but they blatantly, when you watch it, they had no plan to carry it on. Because, I mean, doesn't he kiss his sister in that one?
Yeah.
And then you're on about the new ones, though. The new ones are terrible too. Because randomly, I think it was the one after Force Awakens was okay. Just, I think it had a lot of love there because of what they did for Marvel. So people were like, oh, yeah, I've got a lot of time for this. I thought it was kind of, But the one after that, was it Last Jedi?
Last Jedi, yeah.
Anyone that tries to, that killed that trilogy, destroyed it. The one after was terrible because of that one too. The only good bad guy, Snoke, just got whatever the fuck happened to him in that film.
I have no idea what happened with those films. I was okay with The Last Jedi until Leia flying through space.
That was exactly the bit I was thinking of.
That was the point where I was like, I'm out.
Especially because you knew before watching that film that she died. So when she was flying off through space, you were like, oh, this is a really nice little send-off for her. This is cool. Yeah, exactly. It's cool I did it. And then...
that would have been the ideal way to do it.
Yep.
And then...
oh, she can fly?
Yeah, that was just...
I thought the Force was you bring things towards you, but she's bringing herself to it.
That was...
okay.
That was... I remember laughing at that when I was watching it in the cinema. I was like, are you kidding? What? she's fucking flying. Which, I mean, okay, they've done force jumps. Some might say that's fine, but they've never fucking Supermaned it like she was doing. And I'm not even precious about it. I'm not precious about Star Wars. I've never been like the mega nerd about it. But that was a point where I was like, nah, bullshit. And then the last one was just a fucking abortion. Which was basically, I think it was J.J. Abrams just going, I just need to try and make something.
That's exactly it, yeah. The guy before, I forget his name now. Was it Ryan something?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Right. No.
It doesn't matter. We don't need to say his name because it fucked it up. And it was like I said, the first one was good, but I was fully into it. I was still there for it. I was going into Last Jedi and I was expecting good things from what I saw with Force Awakens because it seemed like you said, just a rehashing of the first one. And that kind of made sense to me for a new audience.
Yeah.
I thought it would carry on up the same level, but no, just went to shit. And that whole fucking scene with the casino shit that was going on and the love story that went nowhere.
Benicio del Toro's fucking stuttering.
Yeah.
Why was that a character choice? Why couldn't it just be like...
I forgot that was even there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was just...
I went to Guardians of the Galaxy when you said that, and I was going for the wrong Disney film.
Oh, you were thinking of the collector.
I was thinking Howard the Duck, and I was like, how was Howard the Duck in Star Wars again? Oh, okay. Yeah.
That'd make it a better film, frankly. The other good Star Wars film is Rogue One.
It was all right, but it didn't really make that much sense. Didn't it create like a whole plot hole at the end of it?
No. Well, the plot hole was that I guess that obviously in A New Hope, Leia says something about a lot of Bothans died to get this information or something, and not like the group of people that got it were. I don't think there were any Bothans or something.
And also as well because I can't remember what they're called. The bad guys, Darth Vader's lot. Apparently didn't know they had the plans yet. They did know they had the plans. It kind of falls apart a little bit. I didn't even bother watching Solo.
I have Solo purely because I'm one of those people who likes to have like a full set of things. So I got Solo cheap on Blu-ray, and it's one of them things where the same with Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and the same with Metallica Saint Anger.
Okay.
If you do not give them that branding, if you just called the film Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, if you just called the album Saint Anger, if you just called the film something else and they were not associated with their respective franchises or bands, you'd be like, that was some all right mindless fun. That happened. But instead, you've got something that you feel, or you might feel some kind of affection for, or something you have some respect for, that you're then like, oh, that was exceptionally disappointing compared to things which I grew up really loving. This is tarnished. And I'll say that I like Saint Anger. Don't mind it as an album. Don't give a fuck about your popped off snare drums. It doesn't sound good, I'll admit that, but I think the songs are all right.
I like Saint Anger the song. I don't really know I don't know them well enough to know what songs are from that album, but I like a lot of their songs, so don't get me wrong. But I don't know which ones are from there. I like the song Saint Anger.
I also highly recommend watching the documentary Some Kind of Monster, which is all about the creation of that album. And I just think I've watched that film so many times. I watched it a few months ago. I made someone else watch it because they'd never seen it and they're a metal fan. They're like, you need to see this. Just because it's just really interesting just to see how this, like the biggest metal band probably ever on the planet, were like this far away in 2003 from before that, from breaking up entirely and just seeing them be little bitches. And Kirk Hammett is such a fucking precious soul. Kirk Hammett.
It's the lead singer, isn't it?
No, Kirk Hammett's the lead guitarist. It's James Hetfield. He's the James Hetfield's the lead singer.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Kirk Hammett, the guitarist with the long black hair, he's a precious boy. He's just so nice. He's like a child.
Oh, that kind of precious. Oh, okay.
He's like a child caught between two warring parents with James and Lars who are just screaming at each other. And he's just like, hey guys, I just think we should all just get along and make the album. I think that'd be really cool. It's like, shut the fuck up, Kirk.
Was it them who had the thing where when they were originally starting, they had a bus crash and it killed their bassist or something? Was that them?
Yeah, so that was well, like so they were like Dave Mustaine from Megadeth was originally the lead guitarist for Metallica, and then before they made the first album, that's when they got Kirk Hammett in, who was from a band called Exodus. So that was about what was that? That was 83 because that was Kill 'Em All, and the bassist is called Cliff Burton, and he was kind of. If you've heard anything from Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, or Kill 'Em All, you can just feel like he's different. He plays kind of a groovier bass because he was kind of hippie. But yeah, it was him who died in the crash after like they were touring Master of Puppets in Sweden.
Wasn't it? I remember the story that I heard was it crashed and then he wasn't dead and they tried to lift it up and then it dropped or something went wrong with the crane they were using and it fell again and that's what they think killed him. The second one.
Yeah, I think that.
I don't know if that's a myth, but
it might be. But yeah, it is basically that is how he died. He died in the bus did squash him in some manner, I believe.
Last thing I wanted to ask you before we wrap up, because I know you said about 15 minutes ago that you were dying now. So yeah, I've just realised the time has gone on a bit more since then.
Yeah.
Well, I've recently been watching. Well, I always go through like I have a different thing that I'm watching each time. Have you ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
See, I have only recently come to watching that, and I'm like, I started on the second season because I know it didn't get good until Danny DeVito popped up. Apparently, I'm on like the 7th season now, I think.
That is definitely one of those shows where the first season is absolute trash, and I would always avoid the first season because it adds nothing really, and it is just a bad start.
I've heard that from a few people. Yeah,
I don't know how it got a second series, to be honest, but
I think just because apparently, from what I've heard from Nathan Parrish as well, because he's quite into it, that Danny DeVito only agreed to be in the first episode, and then he just wasn't going to appear again. He enjoyed it so much, he just carried on, which is why you can tell a lot of like the 3 or 4 seasons after they're retconning his character to figure out why he's not giving money to people because he's loaded. But I'd heard how crazy that program was, like about how, I don't want to say offensive because I didn't find it offensive at all, but how, you know, like, I totally understand how people find that shit offensive. That program is fucking crazy. Like we've been like 3 episodes into the second season, like just starting it, and there was suddenly just a fucking Jewish guy that was trying to buy their bar, and they thought the best way to deal with it was by sending a terrorist fucking video over. Fucking wrapped up with the head towels and everything, like, hello, get my weapon. Literally, that's a quote from it.
Yeah, it is
fucking amazing.
It is. I would find it really impossible to describe It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It just it exists. That's about all I can say about it. It's just one of those where you like just watch it. That's all you can do. Just watch it and
and get cracked out all of a sudden out of nowhere. And even now, I thought I'm on to like season 7 or 14. I thought, oh, okay, they've obviously been picked up because I know like the first 3 or 4 seasons they were just filming themselves. And then, like, you can tell kind of the difference when it gets picked up by something. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's going to start chilling out a bit more now. Again, I can't do the same kind of stuff I did before. No, just as bad, worse, if anything.
Yeah, now they got a budget.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's sort of them. That was one of my first lockdown watches, I think, because it was on like the all 13 or whatever 12 14. Or 13. I think when I watched it, there was either 12 or 13 series. I think it might have been. Yeah, right. So no, I think when I started watching it, there was 12 series, and in the like at the time of watching it, the 13th series came out, and then that got added on Netflix later, and then the 14th came out. But
wait, still going?
Yeah, the 14th series only came out like this last year, I think.
I didn't realise that. I just naturally assumed it had finished.
Nah, man. As far as I'm aware, it's still going.
Because you've been down 2.5 hours. You said you're going to be quick. It's not that, Carl. Not very funny, but you're really loud. When 11 o'clock, he turns his music up, like, you know.
Yeah, okay.
The dog is doing my head in.
You should have put the cushions there.
No, you should have put the cushions there then. But you're really loud, Carl.
No, we're finishing now.
Good.
I'm leaving that bit in, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Carl.
I'm not psychic, Carl. It's fine. Oh, my Jesus. So I need to go.
Yeah, no. Well, you're at a tap out before me. I want to break. So, in closing.
Well, I'm happy to know, though, that Philadelphia is not finished. I generally just assumed it had finished. Like,
yeah, as far as I'm aware, there'll be another series.
Cool.
Maybe
I have no idea how it's still going on. Or how...
me neither.
Is all the people still in it?
Yeah.
And Danny DeVito as well?
Yeah.
Cool. As long as Danny DeVito and Charlie Day are there, I'm happy.
I think, I can't remember her name. The woman.
D.
D. I think D does disappear for a little bit, I think.
Good.
I think she got pregnant in real life.
Okay. I've just watched the one where she got pregnant, and I thought it was by her brother, but it wasn't.
I think she disappears for a little bit, if I remember right. Oh, and Mac goes away for a few episodes, I think. But yeah, they are all still there.
I kind of hate Dennis and Dee, but
Oh,
only
wait, no, sorry, it's not Mac who disappears for it. It's Dennis who disappears for a little bit.
cool. The two I dislike. I only like them when it's weird. I hate both their characters, and it's not even that they're dicks. That's fine. That's great. Like that works perfectly. Like Dennis is a pure psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
I just find them a bit boring a lot of the time. But when they're together, doing stuff together, I really enjoy them. I've noticed lately.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
just two psychopaths work very well,
and it always will.
It always
right.
will.
Right.
Yeah, let's finish. I don't know what the fuck we're saying anymore, to be honest, dude.
Let's cease talking. Let's everybody go to bed. Let's just pray that no more heat happens.
Tiny thing I'm going to mention to you when we finish, but we'll do that after because I don't want to put it on here because I don't know if it will definitely happen. So,
sex, excellent.
Obviously,
yes,
naturally,
wonderful.
But,
well,
yeah. So,
from me, Callum Jarvis-Jones.
Do you want to? Actually, I was about to say, do you want to throw in your plugs at the end? But let's be honest, anyone who's listening to this point doesn't give a shit now. They don't give a shit.
Just everybody, if you've listened this far, give up. Like, what has your life been worth? Your life is void. Mine is. I know this. I'm comfortable with it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. I'm so tired. I've had
yeah, you're fucking drowsing out on antibiotics right now. I
know,
remember
right?
Last time I had antibiotics about a month ago. You don't realise it, but you're kind of high the whole time. You don't realise, but you kind of are.
A little bit, yeah.
That's probably because I took twice the amount I was supposed to. Though.
Nice.
No, I didn't. All right, anyway. Bye, everyone.
Bye, folks. Peace. Bye.